Come on, make your mind up. It's a yes. Alright. Hey guys, Dantix here, bringing you some Cyberpunk 2077 information. I've got two things to cover today. And then after that, I'm going to go through every single demo, trailer, bit of information that we can. So there is going to be a bit of stopping and starting. There's going to be a bit of analyzing. So if you don't like me stopping trailers or turning down the volume at certain times, this is probably not the video for you. Okay, let's begin with this. So this is the official physical copy of the map within 2077. So this is what you'll be getting if you order the game physically, not digitally. So let's have a quick look. I'm not sure if this is 100% legit, but it looks pretty legit considering they've also posted a picture of the back and they've posted a picture of the postcards as well that you get with it. So this is pretty interesting, right? Let's have a look at what we can see first. All right. Remember all the oil fields that you saw on the Twitter? Well, they're up here. The most interesting thing, though, is the spaceport. A lot of people were theorizing that they won't be able to visit this area of Night City. Well, it turns out you can. If that means you can go to space or not, it's unseen, but you can visit the spaceport. You can also go to the Badlands. So you can see the kind of roads kind of go off to the Badlands. So through Santo Domingo, Pacifica as well has roads just kind of going through. So I don't know if this is an extra area of the map that you can go to or there's invisible barriers there. But it looks pretty damn big. Now, all of these thick roads here are highways. So I know it kind of looks like it's not as big as it is, but it's massive. So this Corpo Plaza, a few of you have seen this in images. I don't want to bring it up right now, but this is huge. Absolutely massive, this plaza. It's like a big kind of circular area. It will take, you know, probably like a minute to walk around it completely, a loop. So it is quite a big map. We're thinking it's probably about 40% bigger than the GTA 4 map in terms of just the city. So that's what you're going to get with this. Now, since this is going to be a really long live stream because I have a ton of videos to get through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into where is it? The Seize the Day trailer. Now, I'm not allowed to play the music. I'm not allowed to play the music. Keanu, just chill. Chill, Keanu. I'm not allowed to play the music. So let's turn this all the way down. Instead of playing the music, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read out what he says to you as Keanu. All right. You ready? All right, let's do this. If it doesn't screw up, that is. We got the Wheel of Death. All right, let's begin. Let's begin. I don't have a good Keanu voice, sorry. In 2077, what makes someone a criminal? Getting caught. In Night City, you can become anyone, anything, if your body can pay the price. So seize the day, then set it on fire. All right, let's have a look at what we can see in this trailer quickly. So we have a tech shotgun here, tech rifle. Now this scene here, we see this a lot. Now I'm not sure if this is going to be actually in the game, but this is kind of the prologue section after your life path choice. So it's kind of within the first few hours, especially, actually everything we see and everything they've shown is in the first few hours. They don't want to show anything kind of outside of that. So it's all kind of existing information that we already had. I'm not sure if you guys have watched the cinematic trailer. I think it was 2019 cinematic trailer, but it's borrowing a lot from that. It's also borrowing a lot from the demo that media got to play. Now that bit there is in no way connected to what's happening there. So this part here, it's hard to stop and start with this stupid media player, but this part here, we're assuming is him trying to get the immortality chip for Dexter Deshawn. So this is after the Maelstrom mission, what we assume to be, because no one's actually got to play it yet. But that is what leads us to the whole shootout with Jackie potentially getting shot. It's one of the outcomes. So we think this is all right before the full game kicks in with you having Keanu Reeves. So nothing particularly spoilery in this particular trailer, but let's move on to the next one. I think it's called No Limits. Here it is. All right. Welcome to Night City. The only limit to what you can do is what you're willing to become. So dream big if you can hack it. The future's yours for the taking. All right, what did we see there? These ones don't have that much, so there's not much to break down. But I'm going to go through the 48-minute demo soon, and there's a ton to break down there. Now, Evelyn here, you see a lot more of her in the recent stuff that they've shown with the Japanese and Russian Night City wires. This is pretty much all the same footage. Yeah, so this part here with Dexter Deshawn's bodyguard strangling V, we assume that that's just... Yeah, so this scene with the katana cutting through the gun, which you might not have noticed, actually slice right through it, which won't happen in gameplay. That's probably based on the fact that they show the Dexter Deshawn mission right after it. That's probably confirmation that it's the mission to get the immortality chip. So then we have an awesome, sweet ride. Look at that. Look at that. That is a cool car. I'm guessing based on missions and based on CD Projekt Red's comments themselves that you'll most likely earn cars through missions, through different side missions, especially when you've done the right thing, you probably get a big reward like a car or a gun or a mod or an upgrade. So that's kind of how they reward you for doing the right thing. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the kind words. After every trailer, I think I'll jump into the chat and quickly look at your questions. So we have, there will be a day one patch. We don't know yet. We actually don't know if there will be a day one patch or not. I can assume with games like this, yes, based on the fact that they probably are crunching right now and trying to get it out for release in time. And sometimes that means they need a patch to kind of, bring everything all together. Don't know how big it will be. Don't know anything about it. They haven't mentioned anything on it. So if anyone says anything, don't listen to them. All right. So this is the 48-minute gameplay reveal. This was 2018, I believe. They already said that you can choose different paths and Jackie could live. Correct. So there's different ways that mission could play out, like every single mission in the game. Every single mission can play out differently based on your choices, based on your life path, based on, what approach you took. So, for example, the Maelstrom mission, which we will be covering very soon. This mission here. This mission here can play out in a number of ways. I think they said 7 or 8 different ways. One of which is you simply just pay for this hammerhead bot, this spider bot. You simply pay for it, walk out, and everybody's happy. Everyone's sweet. Nothing goes wrong. And you make some friends with Maelstrom, not so much the corpos, but that's one way it can play out. Another way is you have this little Mexican standoff with the Royce. I think it's a little bit in there. Yeah. You have this kind of Mexican standoff with him. You pull your gun out and you can shoot him in the head. You can just like Mass Effect Renegade button prompt shoot him in the head. If you do that, you avoid your boss fight with him completely. You just avoid it because he doesn't get into the mech at the end. And, you know, Maelstrom not going to like you for that. Another way is to just let the hack kind of take down their systems, the one that you get from the corpos. And if that is allowed to go through, the corpos will probably like you a little bit better. Another way that can play out is if you've gone the corpo live path and you discover that Meredith Stout's giving you something shady, you can choose to fix it and essentially just pay for the bot that way. There's plenty of ways. There's also theorized that there's the old Maelstrom boss locked up, and I'll tell you exactly when that's going to happen because there's a portion of the gameplay trailer that kind of shows it, kind of hints at it. I'll go through that when we get to it. But there's lots of ways that can play out, so hopefully that answers your question. But let's go through it. Do you think we need the Mantis Blades to get cutscenes when we use them? It was actually theorized that the Mantis Blades themselves, sorry about the sound in the background, there's someone just doing something with a blender next door. This is the time they choose to do it. It's theorized that the Mantis Blades are a forced upgrade, but apparently they're not. I think only the optical implants are. So we don't know. I don't know if that cutscene is simply post-rendered to be marketing material or if we get a cutscene like that in the game. But CD Projekt Red have actually said that almost all of the cutscenes, bar the ones kind of leading past the prologue, are interactable. And as you saw with the 2019 cinematic trailers, they're not interactable, they're just cinematic. So I'm not sure if that's just, I think it's just marketing material. I don't think it's in the game. So it's kind of just like a representation of how your mission can kind of go. So the part where he's chopping through the sword, chopping through the gun, that obviously doesn't happen. The scene with Dexter Deshawn and his bodyguard, that can all play out in the game, but not cinematically. That's how I think it will go down. All right, yes, Mantis Blades are incompatible with Gorilla Arms. You can only pick one or the two. So let's just go. Let's go through this. Let's start. Do you think your relationships will actually become relationships? Or you think... Let's actually turn the sound up, because I'm allowed to turn the sound up with this. All right, can you guys hear that?
Welcome to the gameplay demo walkthrough of CD Projekt Red's upcoming title, Cyberpunk 2077. A narrative-driven, open-world RPG set in a dark version of the future. Before we start, a small but important disclaimer. The gameplay you're about to see is from a work-in-progress version of the game. Everything you see is potentially subject to change. In Cyberpunk 2077, you can fully customize your character.
All right, first thing. You can fully customize your character, but they won't be censored like that. In the version that everybody got to play, well, not everybody, but people got to play, this whole character creation screen was completely different. You don't start with birth record, you start with your life path, and then you can customize, and then you can put stats in. So it's kind of like sliders, where you can pull them across and change kind of like features, certain features. And there's quite a lot of different choices that you can have, but it isn't censored like this. This is purely for YouTube. And then yes, you can customize your junk. And you don't choose between male or female as well. You choose between a masculine or feminine voice. You also choose between a masculine and feminine sexual organ. And those choices will impact who's interested in you in the game. It's not based on picking male or female. So that's how that differs. V is 23. That is correct.
Using a deep customization system. For this demo, we're going to play a female. Keep in mind that what you see here is not final. We just want to give you a glimpse of what will be possible in the released game. This is an RPG, so before we get into our appearance, we need to
All right. Can you make V more muscular? No, you can't. So typically their body kind of build, you can't edit because it would be, one, a pain in the butt to fit different clothing to different sizes and shapes. So they've kind of modeled it based on the two kind of body shapes that they've put in the game, which is the masculine and the feminine one. So you can't make him just stupidly bulky. He is a 23-year-old male or a 23-year-old female, and that's it. You can't just go GTA San Andreas and just bulk him out. Now, with this part, this is completely gone. Okay, so there is no childhood hero section anymore. There's no solo of fortune. There's no corporate god. Instead, this is replaced with the life path choice. So you get 3 life path choices. You get the street kid, you get the nomad, and you get the corpo. And that replaces all of this here. Now, this date of birth puts him to 24, I believe, years old. If my math is 23, sorry. My math is off, depending on which day is there. But they're young. V is young. It's not he's or she is starting their career. And that's very much what the game is about.
Different possibilities later in the game. Also, you can use an array of different options to modify how you look.
Now, one, it looks better than this. This looks pretty good, right? But it looks better than this. 2, this is kind of how it works. It says 10 eyes here, but I think there's more. And you kind of slide it. It's like a little slider. And you can slide to change it. There are different colors. You can do the same with the hair. There's tons of different colors. You can kind of customize a face how you see fit. You can customize, your boobs and all that stuff as well. I think there's like 3 different kinds of vaginas. Don't quote me on that, but there's different things you can do. It's just not, you can't just like change their body shape to a ridiculous extent. Thanks, Spiral Down. Appreciate it.
These include body type, hairstyle, tattoos, makeup, skin tone, and many, many more. But visuals aren't everything. You'll also be able to customize your initial attribute setup. You'll notice we didn't pick a class.
Now, stats are the most important thing. I'll go through stats. I'll leave this just now. I'll go through stats on the walkthrough trailer. I think 2019 deep dive video. I'll go through the stats there because that's much more accurate. Right now, this is inaccurate because every single character, when you starts with 3 in every attribute and has 7 stats to kind of allocate across those 3, across the stats that you have. So that's how you start. Right now you can see 2 in Constitution and 2 in Tech, which is inaccurate. So this is changed.
Cyberpunk 2077 features a fluid class system, and you'll be able to modify your class throughout the game. This demo takes place near the beginning of the game. V and her friend Jackie, along with a netrunner named T-Bot, are hired to find and retrieve a missing person, a girl whose locator implant went dark.
Almost clear. Go. 12:37 on your
Is that better, sound-wise? Now, this old lady you can romance. No, you can't. So keep an eye on T-Bug. I'll go through her later. But you interact with her and Dexter Deshawn basically together. So I'm not sure how this particular mission plays out. I'm not sure how you get it, but you're dealing with scavengers, and they've essentially kidnapped a target that you've been hired to rescue. Now, they kidnap targets all the time because they want to harvest expensive modifications and sell them on the black market. That's basically their MO. So they're one of the most dangerous gangs in Night City. So we're here and we're going to rescue them.
Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person role-playing game. This perspective enables us to maximize your immersion.
Should have full access in 2.8 seconds. Reached it. Your turn.
Órale, Lito, way, I know.
Just so you know, you can interact with the vending machines. It's just the little details, right?
Alarms neutralized.
Oh, are we fucking late? Is that her? That our target, V?
Room's too simple. Not our girl, I think. Keep looking.
It looks like these scavengers are kidnapping people to harvest their implants. Okay, things are about to get heated.
Now, you saw there the takedowns. There was a lethal and non-lethal. That's creative expression, I would say. That doesn't exist in the game. You're not going to just, based on where you are standing, creatively execute a target. That doesn't happen. It would be cool. It'd be cool if you were standing next to a table, you smash his head through the table. If you're standing next to some water, you drown them and shoot them. But that doesn't happen, unfortunately. But it would be interesting. Just thought I should reset your expectations though. But there is takedowns. Just it won't be dynamic based on where you are, unfortunately. Scared hard.
We'll take a reflex booster that temporarily allows us to use the Koreznikov ability.
Koreznikov is a perk that you can use.
This is Koreznikov.
Yeah, so I can't remember who exactly said it, but I believe someone said that there's a very similar talent down, I think it was either reflex or one of them in an agility kind of section where you can slow down time. It's going to be there. Now that inhaler made it so you can use it without actually having invested into it. That's basically it. Now we've got a pistol here that's, rapid fire, pretty standard. We've seen that a lot in games like this. In Cyberpunk though, we're not sure exactly how scarce ammo is going to be. So a gun like this can kind of burn through it fast. Unfortunately, when I was looking through this trailer, I didn't see any ammo. So I was like, there's no way he could have enough ammo to go through that many rounds, but you'll just have to see. That's 3 rounds since I stopped talking. 3 clips.
He's moving! Cover! Find cover! The wall! We'll get him!
Can't see shit! Got none to fucking you!
Got options here!
Room he's in looks out on the balcony. Got a window on the left. Go!
China, get his attention! The west.
Jackie's a badass. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to play out exactly the same when we play it, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were companions creatively executing them. Now, the scavenger boss itself, that isn't a boss of all scavengers. I think it's just the boss of the area. So just keep that in mind. It's not like you defeat the boss of the scavengers early on in the game. Anyway, he doesn't drop anything, which is also different. Normally they drop ammo, you'll see little pickups, and you'll see that in the later footage that I show you. Enemies drop little like crates on the ground or like little boxes, like cardboard boxes, and you pick those up for ammo. And I'm not exactly sure if they drop weapons, but if they did, it would be in those.
Won't be needing this anymore. Pussy.
Layout shows only one room left, the bathroom. Go.
Sure hope our target's in there.
Yeah, so the ammo, just to reiterate, because we've got a few people in the chat mentioning it, they did mention that ammo won't be too much of a problem, but in this particular demo, there's no ammo written anywhere, and none of the ammo is dropping. So it was just one of those things where it's like, is it going to be a problem in this? Now, I'm going to skip forward just slightly because you do see boobs in it. So I just want to get past the boob bit. Just because I'm not sure how YouTube's going to be. Oh, no, there they are. Let's just get all the way past that. Whoopsies. Now.
Shard, removing it now. Done.
Greetings, Sandra. An emergency evacuation unit has been dispatched and is due to arrive at your location in 180 seconds.
Biomon claims
Don't worry, I'm not going to monetize this video anyway, so I don't really care.
Well, let's get her out of here.
Your premium plan will cover 90% of the projected costs of your
So she's got a premium plan with the trauma team. Basically, that means if anything happens to her, they're gonna know because they can pick up her vitals, and they're immediately gonna come and rescue her. However, with her, the scabs did something, blah, yada, yada.
She's stable.
Yeah. The trauma team didn't know. So you remove the blocker,
It turns
and
out a
now the
virus
trauma team are
disrupted
coming.
the girl's locator implant. We've fixed that, and now help is inbound.
Swarm of the sons of bitches, 2 vans full, just pulled up outside.
Yeah, the ammo drops are in tools of destruction. Exactly.
Fuera, get her out. Terrorists.
No, YouTube's all about kids these days. Even though there is a kids YouTube.
Stop where you are.
Now, in the Night City Wire episode 3 Japanese and Russian editions, which we won't go through today because they're exactly the same as the English versions, except they have some updated footage. And some of that updated footage includes the trauma team. And the trauma team with the current version put down little virtual barriers as well. But yeah, you don't want to mess with these guys. Even, later game, these guys are badasses. They're going to kick your ass. So at this stage of the game, you probably want to do what they say. You want to put her down. You don't want to mess with them. If you just hold her, which you can, I'm assuming, do, and not give them up, they will probably start shooting you. So just keep that in mind. But you might be able to do a Mario 64 and throw her off the edge, or jump off the edge with her. Who knows? That would be pretty funny.
5 steps back. Now. I said step back. TT-133 to control.
You better step back.
NC-570442 secured. Stimulants being administered, 70 milligrams dopamine, 110 norepinephrine, 800 Viagra.
Hey, give us a lift out of here? No problem.
Cutting connection. T-bug out.
All clear.
That was trauma
Let's see when
team,
we blow.
a kind of high-end premium medical
Don't
insurance.
have much time from what Bug said.
We've delivered the target, and T-Bug has notified us that the scavengers have called in reinforcements. Let's get out of here before they arrive.
I got the eddies for new wheels now. Eyeing something real fine, too. How
Yeah,
about
he
you,
is.
Ina? Probably blow it all on booze in 3 days.
Talking about somebody else, Jack. Deeper than a cunt out of combat.
Now, we don't know if you wake up with someone in your bed or if you've chosen beforehand to sleep with someone, but you can do that.
Cyberpunk is a mature, visceral experience, and as such,
Seems like probably one of the only attractive options for people interested in males. Sorry.
it will let you explore a variety of different interactions with the game world. And as you just saw, its people.
I just want to point out as well, here's something, a little bit of attention to detail here. Now, I'm not sure if many of you are going to notice this the first time around, but for those who have been around the bend a little bit, you know, been around the block, so to speak, you look at elbows. She was on her hands and knees.
As you just saw, it's people.
Hello, Night City. Your man Stan here with a scoop sheet on all last night's bids. But first, remember the man, the myth, Johnny Silverhand. Been a year since he went on his last ride. All you gonks sitting in the afterlife nursing that scotch, waiting for something better. You. Also,
I'm not sure how many girls are in the chat, but can you tell me, would you sleep in that? I don't know a single girl that would sleep in that because it's just uncomfortable, right? Anyway, that's just
The job
that's just
was
something.
a success, and V obviously has some money to burn.
Now, we've noticed this a few times. The top left is your phone, essentially. And you can, when we see it in later trailers, scroll through different contacts, get missions, hand missions in, and so forth, and even little objectives through the phone. So we'll see it in a little bit. You talk to a corpo agent through the phone. You don't need to call her. You don't even need to interact with her before your mission. It's just an option. So you can, a lot of what you can do optionally is through the phone, and without going back to quest givers, you can hand in your missions. So that's just something to keep an eye out for, because the first time I watched this through, I didn't realize it. You sleep naked, so no. We got some horny girls in the chat.
Hey, sup, V? Look, I need to talk to you. Got news as big as my balls.
And I got a hot date with my Ripper Doc.
Come on, Aina, make the dock wait. Pull some pants on your culo and get down here. Subway entrance, and bring your iron.
Okay.
This is Johnny
Jackie has just
Silverhand's
told us that he has some big
original
news for us,
song.
and we have an appointment with our Ripper.
Now, I also didn't notice this the first time through, but this is a little interactable screen in your apartment. I'm not sure if this is going to still be there because in the latest trailer it wasn't. Maybe it's somewhere else. But there is a morning, night, and brain dance button. Now, the brain dance one is, I'm assuming you can buy, steal, download, whatever, different brain dancing segments, and you can play them through in your apartment, which would be interesting because there is, you know, evidence that you can go through, maybe at home. There is porn, maybe you can revisit at home for you perverts out there. We're all perverts in some way.
Before we leave, let's take a good look around our apartment. Good morning, Night City.
Good morning.
The song on the radio is by rocker boy Johnny Silverhand. It's part of our creative process to draw inspiration from the pen and paper system, created by Mike Pondsmith.
Now, there's a computer over there. Maybe you can do that brain dancing stuff through there instead of on the wall. Just keep that in
And
mind.
to put our own 2077 spin on it. Let's go grab our gear.
I just want to point out that 7 being the password to open your extremely valuable gun room is probably not the most secure. Just saying.
Okay. We'll take V's trusty pistol.
So every time you get a new gun, there'll be an animation with it. You'll look at it, you'll cock it, you'll load in a clip, depending on the gun. That's generally how CD Projekt Red want to do things. So in the, I can't remember the name of it, but the weapons trailer, you see kind of V looking at a gun on that particular stand in his apartment. That's just one of the animations that they just put there as like a creative process. But that's what will happen when you get a new gun.
And also grab our jacket.
This isn't in the game anymore.
Since Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG.
So the whole like loading yourself up at home, clicking on a jacket, that's not going to be there anymore. You do that through the menu, which is kind of shitty, but at the same time, it's a game at the end of the day. It wants to cut down on that, you know, fluff.
The jacket not only provides us with protective stats like armor, but it also increases our street cred. Street cred is a form of experience the player acquires by completing side missions. It is used to unlock new vendors and content throughout Night City. All right, let's go meet Jack. V's current apartment is located inside a mega building. A huge building.
That's Dirt Girl number 1. I want you all to keep an eye on how many Dirt Girls there are out there. But that's number 1.
Complex that forms a micro-society of its own. In this timeline, technology and the world have evolved in some ways that seem familiar, but entirely surprising in others. As an example, in this world, people pay with eddies, slang for Eurodollars. We make sure to root every detail in the world's lore, so everything has its purpose and stays believable.
So CD Projekt Red had pointed out that they won't let you enter an area without there being some reason to it. So although this mega building is huge, some doors will be locked and you won't be able to get into. But some places, like you can see right here, you can enter. So there will be maybe something there, a vending machine like there is here. Maybe there's a vendor, maybe there's someone that you can talk to. But to the right, which I'm not going to scroll back to, that door was completely closed off to you. So there's vending machines to the right there. You can go to this Bucker Slice. Let's continue on, but
a big part of our
you can get food from all of these stalls. Food will give you some bonus based on what kind of food it is and how expensive it is. It's usually going to be a stat boost.
RPG experience is having a world that is interactive. Here, a generic ad has morphed into an advertisement specifically tailored to V, informing her of the nearest vendor she can purchase the product. In this case, it shows us where to find some Nicola soda.
Just want to point out that it's Nicola, not Nicola. Just want to point that out, like, because even the ad said it right. Just saying. No, I'm kidding. I'm terrible with pronunciations. Terrible with it. So as you can see, you can buy kind of drinks and food. You don't need to eat and drink. It's not something that you need to do to stay alive. It's not a survival game. As you can see, just drinking cola will restore a small amount of health over time. I'm not sure if you can hot switch to it if there's buttons that you can program into, because it doesn't seem to be a bar that you can kind of slot in different consumables. So we don't know if you can just kind of like hot swap into them and drink it in the middle of combat, but it'll be interesting. You might need to pause, drink it, get some health back, but food and drink is a way to boost yourself, similar to how they used a inhaler to get the Krasnikov ability. Now those are all some random guns. We're not sure they're still in the game, so
Wilson,
won't bother.
One of Night City's many gunsmiths. We won't be checking his wares today, but you can purchase and upgrade your weapons and gear throughout the city.
All right, now this is really important. I want to point this out because this is actually in the game and is so cool. All right, you'll notice how Wilson wanted you to talk to him, right? We'll go back a little bit. We'll go back a little bit more. Hopefully there's no boobs this time. All right. Hey, Wilson, how are you, buddy? All right, so he calls you over. Now, the game wants you to go over there and talk to him and take the quest, take back your gun, whatever, right? That's what the game wants you to do. But because CD Projekt Red is like, yeah, we'll give you choices what you want to do. We don't want to lock you in. We don't want to like stop you from doing your thing. Maybe you just want to get some more cola or something. Maybe you got a hot date. So it's like, we're not going to force you. You can literally walk off on this guy.
One of Night City's many guns.
And that's what V does.
We won't be checking his wares.
Doesn't answer. Leaves it. Doesn't press a thing. Right?
But you can purchase and upgrade your weapons and gear throughout this.
And then he goes, all right, later then. Like he knows that you've walked away from him. The game knows. And that's going to happen with everything. With all of the quest givers, with all of the people. You'll see Jackie in a second. He's standing there waiting
Cyberpunk
for
2077
you.
is set in
If
Night
you don't
City,
go to Jackie,
a bustling
he's going to start calling you.
located on the coast of the Free State of.
He's going to start calling you. He's going to start ringing you up like, hey, I've been waiting here for a while. You know, like life still goes on. and he's going to still be there, but some quest givers maybe will not be there after a while if you walk off on them. Or maybe if you're in the middle of a mission and you walk off on someone trying to talk to you, that could be a negative thing. They could start shooting.
California.
So
it's a dystopian
cool.
city where violence and oppression are the norm. We are working hard to make Night City a fully realized, seamless open world with no loading screens. Currently, we're in Watson, a former industrial...
no loading screens. They have stuck to that. It is mind-blowing that this game doesn't have any loading screens. When everybody got to play it, the only loading screen was after the life path section, when it kind of, I don't want to spoil anything, but it kind of skips ahead, right? That was the only loading screen, and when V sleeps. Now, if you are to travel from one section of the city to the other, you can do so with no loading. If there's a section of verticality, you take an elevator similar to Mass Effect, but you still can see everything. It just loads in where you're not looking, which is, I don't know how they did it. I honestly,
where crime now
anyway, it's just mind blowing.
money.
This stall here, you would have seen in some of the art. You get sushi from this guy, and you were sitting over here, and Johnny Silverhand was over here, I believe.
Damn signal gonked out 3 times. 3 times, yo! It's a piece of shit. Now give me back my eddies.
Silverhand's debut album, that. Now he'll ever since he asked me.
Could be some truth to that.
Now this whole section here, this whole part, all of this has changed in either a small or large way. These buildings have completely, like this whole scene here looks different now. I mean, they're still essentially the same buildings, like Little Caliente and stuff like that, just kind of around, but the buildings have changed. I'm not sure why they keep updating things to make them look better, but they have been. The amount of citizens in the area will change depending on the day.
We've greatly enhanced our crowd and community system to create the most believable city in any open world game to date.
You can follow an individual NPC and they will go about their day, and you can watch them do that. They won't be, there's not 1,000. There was one thing that a dev said that there was 1,000 different programmed NPCs that will have their own life that they'll live out, and you can follow, and they'll all be unique. But I don't think that's exactly what they meant. What they meant was there's 1,000 different kind of takes on NPCs that they could be. So, for example, this guy over here might be, a corpo, and he will be walking through, going to work, going home, that kind of thing. And it'll just be random based on certain algorithms, I guess. But everyone's going to live their lives, which is cool.
The city's streets are bustling with crowds of people from all facets of life, all living their lives within a full day and night cycle.
Why is he following the law here? Just cross the road, man. Kind of looks like 6ix9ine.
Okay, there's Jack.
Fucking finally. Buckle up.
Now, he was waiting for you, right? You can walk up to him. He can go, fucking finally, and then you can walk off. I'm sure he won't be happy with you then, but you can do it.
Shit's happening.
What's up, Jack?
Dexter Deshawn. Huh? Sound familiar? Hombre wants to talk to you. One of Night City's top fixers, eh? Okay, you see that caddy? Need to walk on over there and get us a job, Jaina.
Fine, I'll meet him. Talk.
I'll be at Senor Rippers. Good news to me. Good luck, V!
It turns out we've caught the attention of one of Night City's biggest players, Dexter Deshawn, a fixer, a person who gets things done. He wants to meet up and discuss a job.
Get in.
Let's see what he has for us.
Now, this is the one way they get you to artificially lock in place. You know how I mentioned before that you can, leave a conversation whenever you want to. You're not kind of locked in. This is one way they artificially lock you in. So to take Dexter Deshawn's mission, you do have to get into the car. You don't have to get into the car if you don't want to, but then you can't take his mission. So you get in and then you're locked, right? Because you're sitting in a car and it drives. You just can't get out while it's driving. So it's clever. It's clever how they do it.
A pleasure. Let's roll.
There you go.
Scanning
Now
a
you have to
serious
listen.
job just now. Playing gargantuan compared to smashing up a scare phone. You interested?
Interested, sure. Tell me more.
Well, glad to hear. Before we can start in on this, though, I need to be sure. Sure you all right.
All right. And the nature of this test?
Slot in the show.
I just want to point out, and this is a common theme throughout this environment, throughout Night City, throughout 2077 in this universe, is that anything you plug into yourself could potentially kill you. There could be a number of different malware installed on it, demons, that could hack you and kill you, or shut you down, or literally roast you from the inside. So you simply taking that shit from Dexter is risking your life. And CD Projekt Red have mentioned multiple times that if you observe the body language of who you're talking to, you can see kind of where they're coming from or what their intentions are. So if someone, you can notice them being hostile, take a look around. Maybe you'll see a car drive up next to them. Maybe you'll see them, reaching for a gun. You'll kind of know how to react. Maybe you pull your gun out first because you're not locked in like it mentions. So if someone offers you a chip, like we'll see later on in the deep dive, if someone offers you that kind of stuff, you're going to be weary a little bit because maybe it could damage you. Maybe they could be using it to take advantage of you. So keep that in mind. In this particular case, he didn't seem to have bad intentions, so V just grabs it and puts it in, right?
He got a classic tale for you. Psycho gang, just doing his thing, jumped a Corp convoy, got away with gear. Now I need me that little combat bot. They call it the Flathead. Of course, I got the Eddies to buy it, but me and the mail...
So the reason this was such a big thing was because the Flathead was going to be a companion. The Flathead, the spider bot, was going to be something that you invested in the tech path. I'm kind of this is the biggest disappointment for me is the fact that we can't use this robot. But we'll get Johnny Silverhand instead. But I don't know, man. Johnny Silverhand can't walk up walls.
Boys ain't the best of friends.
This is Meredith Stout. You'll notice she has blonde hair here, and she is a brunette when you meet her. So this is an old picture. And she's the Senior Operations Manager for Militech. There's many of those, but COM is pretty high up there. Especially for her age. She doesn't look like she's too far over 30.
Corporal agent. She's on the hunt for the dogs who sold the Gangoon's info on the convoy. Got herself a prisoner. Her chief suspect, most likely. Going on 20 hours since the convoy was jumped, and she still don't have no guilty party. Gotta be desperate by now. Be wise to think how you could use that. Got any questions for me?
All right. So I'll give you a little background of what happens here. Basically, she had a convoy. Convoy had a lot of cool tech in it. It was hijacked by the Maelstrom. The Maelstrom is now laying low because they have Militech on their ass, and Militech can basically wipe the floor with anyone except Arasaka. And those two are at odds, basically, throughout all of Cyberpunk's history. Now, One of those bits of tech was the hammerhead, and you've been tasked by Dexter to go and get it from Maelstrom. Maelstrom are rightly very suspicious of everyone, so you've got to work your way in there somehow. In this particular case, you can go up to Meredith and find a way to get her to help you to get that spider bot. Cool. And just for everyone in the chat, I am reading your messages. There is a lot of them, but I am reading. Hi to everyone that said hi.
Clear on it all, I think. Time I got to work.
Beautiful. Here's hoping my inkling checks out.
So, see you at the afterlife soon as the job's done.
Do good, and this'll be the start of a beautiful friendship based on heaps of eddies.
He's lying to you.
It seems Dexter has given us a test of sorts to see if we're worth.
I wonder what happens if you just stay in the car. That'd be pretty interesting.
He wants us to retrieve a piece of high-tech combat gear a local gang stole from the Militech megacore.
There's another dirt girl.
We'll be able to approach this job from a variety of angles. Let's try calling the Militech contact.
All right, here we go. Now, I mentioned the phones, right? This is something that a lot of people missed the first few times they go through this video, but you can close and call people based in your phone, your contacts, and you can get different contacts based on, you know, who you work with. And in this case,
see where that leads.
We've got a contact for Meredith Stout, and we give her a call. We don't need to give her a call. This is completely optional. It's not part of the mission.
Hi, heard you were looking for some tech. Let's talk.
Hey, everybody shut it! Where is it? Come on, spill!
On the horn? No.
Amateur hour, Jesus. First exit off Skyline going towards the NID. Storm channel under the overpass. Meet you there.
The situation's tricky because the contract giver is a corporate agent who seems a little high-strung. Before we get down to business, it's a great idea to visit our Ripper Dock.
Just look at the density of this city as well. Most of it is this dense, most of it. I mean, outside of your industrial areas.
Crime is a common occurrence. Night City is not a safe place. Life here is not easy.
Got some real juicy soup.
Your heart chakra looks a little out of whack, babe.
V!
I can release.
How to play?
All right, so that's Misty. That is Jackie's girlfriend. Just saying, for those wanting to get involved in Jackie, we don't know. Maybe you have to strategically take her out of the picture. Maybe something happens to her. Who knows? There are some assumptions that Jackie might be bi, so maybe people that are interested, you know, of all walks of life can have a shot at him. But he is currently taken.
Out with Dex.
It's all here.
All right, I'll check it out while I wait.
He doesn't even flinch. He just takes that shit. He trusts V implicitly.
V? Dr. Vector, we'll see you now.
Thanks, Misty.
We're at a Ripper Dock clinic. Ripper Docks are specialist vendors who offer people the possibility to install or upgrade their cyberware.
Vicky, spry as ever, you old ripper.
Hernandez bounces on the chance, coming in with a couple of hooks. Gaining the upper hand pretty darn quickly.
Need to bump up my specs and get a grip.
Really? Now? Finally?
Vic, shit just got real. Hitting the major leagues. Got a job from Dex Deshawn.
The Dexter Deshawn? Yeah, that is something. But let me guess. Hasn't paid you yet.
Quit crying, Vic. I'll bring you the eddies later. With interest. You know I will.
Last time, I swear. Now sit.
So can you start to see how the game artificially kind of locks you in place? Because it gives you so much freedom to how you approach situations. In this particular case, if you want to get modifications done, you have to sit down. Then you can't move, right? it's locked you in. You can't just walk away while it's mid, modification. So that's how that works. Also, keep in mind that Victor here, he seems to have a pre-existing relationship with V, and he seems to actually like V. We're not sure if that's like, but if there is a romance option, Victor might be one of those for females. Maybe for males as well, who knows. Anyway, he gives you all these upgrades for essentially free right now, which is crazy. I'm not sure that still does that, but the assumption is this Karoshi
and should be about
implant
right under the circumstances.
Is...
Now jack in.
I'll just wait till it gets to it.
You peruse and choose while I scan. See what's going on inside.
We're going to install both an optical scanner.
All right. So the assumption is that this Karoshi optical scanner MK1 or Mark 1 is the only bit of cyberware that you are required to get. And now the reason you're required to get this optical scanner is because it functions as your heads-up display. If it tells you all the little details that you see on your screen, it will come from the Karoshi optical scanner. It also, I think, a little bit further on here, number 2, identifies weak points in machines and so forth, which you'll see come into play a little later on, because they jump from a lower level character to a high level character, and then you can see him ricocheting bullets off walls or locating weak points on the boss, on Royce. We'll see that come into play later on. But as of right now, I think this is the only required one. So there is a potential play where your humanity stays at maximum, and you see here humanity cost. So I believe there will be a cap of how much humanity you can sacrifice, sort of like an inbuilt restriction to how much mods you can have. Also, when everyone got a chance to play, there were certain sections of your body that you could modify. You can modify, you can have one mod in your head, one mod in your torso, one mod for your both arms, and one mod for both legs. So you can't have one mantis blade and one gorilla arm. It has to be both gorilla arms. And if you get, a rocket arm, for example, it only shoots out one arm, but you still used both arms. It's just a way to make it so it's not absolutely crazy. 1 second, I think a delivery has come. I'm back. Whoa. Delivery. I think I'm getting some sweet tech. No, seriously, sweet tech. Hopefully that's a 3080. I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's continue.
Mark 1, like I said, decent enough scanner. Displays data on your cornea.
And a subdermal weapon grip.
The link's not labeled. And to be perfectly honest, not entirely sure where the hell I got it.
Also, I've got a sneaking suspicion that if you heavily modify yourself, there will be a different ending. The reason I think this is because if you see in the latest 2 trailers, the Seize the Day and the No Limits trailers, he mentions that you can become anything if your body can pay the price. He also says if you can hack it, the future's yours for the taking. I think the only limit on what you can do is what you're willing to become. So it's very foreboding. It's basically saying to me that perhaps it wants to bring that theme of sacrificing your humanity to become someone is not the right way to go. So I think maybe too heavily modifying yourself will have some negative consequences, but I mean, don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that, because I mean, what's the point of playing this without modifying yourself? It just seems a little stupid.
Still, looks like it'll talk to Karoshi Tech.
I'm ready. Carve away.
Okay, all clean. Now,
I can't afford the 3090, guys. I'm too busy giving stuff away.
Major League arm of yours right here. Just like that. Thanks. Now a bit of anesthetic, and I can start.
Now I'm not sure if like with every modification it'll do this kind of like animated sequences, but if it does, that's really damn cool.
Doug.
Because the subdermal grip,
Play by play.
like you see it
like a dentist.
being
They're
placed.
always going on and on.
Don't be me now. Remember, I'm old. I got a shaky Gannic hand. Could slip. Lights out for a minute, all right? Good. So let's test it. Linking you in.
All right, so you can see how it'll kind of bring up your UI. Yeah.
You might feel a little discomfort, maybe blurred vision, low contrast, glitches. So, how's it look to you?
With the scanner, we can zoom in on things and take a closer look.
It's mantis blades. All right, two things. First thing, I was thinking maybe I didn't make this clear, but you can't enter a state of cyberpsychosis. You'll notice that cyberpsychosis in the law is basically when you too heavily modify yourself that you become psychotic. Pretty straightforward. That seems to happen a lot. There's a whole wing of police that are dedicated to taking down cyborgs that do go insane and go on a rampage. And the first ever teaser trailer, which I can show you later, was of someone that was in cyberpsychosis and was being shot. Oh, God damn it. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Mate, these delivery drivers are making me enter a state of cyberpsychosis, I tell you. All right, so it's confirmed that V will never enter that state. So it doesn't matter how much you modify yourself, you'll never become psychotic. That will never happen. So the whole sacrificing humanity thing, when I said that it's like a set limit, it's basically like the level that you can install will have a cap. I think maybe that can be raised. I don't know. I don't know what system they've put in there now, but sacrificing humanity is more like an idea, right? It's not actually what's happening. I know that maybe doesn't make any sense to you, but you're not going to go psychotic, essentially. I'm just thinking that the more heavily modified you are, maybe there's some kind of negative consequence. We don't know. That wasn't confirmed. But it was confirmed that you can't enter cyberpsychosis. Also, the mantis blades are incredibly strong.
This is fantastic.
Beautiful. Time for the scanner.
So,
additionally, we can analyze objects, get details on enemy weak points or gang affiliation.
It might take you a while to adjust, but first time's rarely the charm with anything, really. Scanner should eventually sync with your thought processes and read your intentions. Ought to work like a charm. Now draw your weapon. You should see your ammo count in a brand new sight.
The subdermal weapon grip links to our scanner and shows us weapon information like ammo count and fire modes. It also increases the base damage on all connected weapons.
So the reason I mentioned before that the ammo count wasn't showing was because I think in the stage of the game it was here in 2018, the only time you actually saw your ammo count was when you get this subdermal grip, but that has been changed. It seems you can see it from the start. And I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Like it just seems like it's something that should be there from the start. So I'm not sure the subdermal grip is also a necessity like the optical implants, but I know the optical implant is. So we don't know if the subdermal grip is, but they both link together essentially, and you'll see how that interacts a bit later on.
Shit, Victor. Not bad. I don't know what to say.
Say you'll take this and remember the dosage. 2 whiffs now, and another 2 in an hour.
I wonder if you actually have to stick to that.
Thanks again. You're the best.
Like if you
Vic.
forget to take a whiff in an hour, like you have some negative consequences.
Go on, kid. Show them what you can do. And once you hit the big time, don't forget where you came from.
While some Ripper docks operate legally, others provide black market services. For the right price, they can even offer to install illegal military-grade cyberware.
So this is kind of based in California, or just off California. So
Left a few minutes ago. Said he'd wait outside.
that explains the accent, everyone in the chat that's talking about it.
Well, Hiroshi. Well, Vig's got a soft spot for you, Heina. Come on.
Soft
How about
spot,
you
see?
use them fancy ass
It's
optics to get my new wheels.
Kind of suggesting that maybe he can become more than
You'll
that.
have to let me take it for a spin.
Hey, just watch the paint job.
I really can't tell the difference between an LA and a New York accent. Except that, hey, I'm walking here thing. That's like a joke, right?
Hey, you got a problem?
So do you guys want a hot mess in your mouth? Just ask
This guy looks an awful lot like one of those scavengers we took out earlier.
Something tells me that wasn't no coincidence, huh?
So the driving here feels a little stiff. It doesn't feel like this in the release version, and you'll see in some of the later trailers.
Jackie's car is
driving
a
is more
super-powered
smooth.
sports car running on Chew-2, the super fuel of the future. Players can explore Night City freely, in many different cars, on bikes, and in other types of vehicles.
This does not look good.
Puta madre! Grab the wheel, Jack!
Oh, fuck!
It looks like...
So you can shoot pistols and I believe SMGs. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what they said. But you can shoot while driving and you can lean out of the car and shoot while you're driving. So that is something you can do. I'm not sure exactly what button presses and button prompts you'll be required to hit. But it is something you can do. So this section here, I believe Jackie will drive for you. But if you're just in free form, just in, doing a side mission or whatever, you can shoot and drive. So that is confirmed.
The scavengers from earlier are still angry.
They're pulling ahead, Heina. Watch it now. Got it. All right.
I think we got rid of him. That was intense.
Shit! The fuck was that?
Night City never sleeps. Danger lurks around every corner.
How beautiful does it
in
look?
daytime. Random encounters like these are an example of how your actions directly influence your open world experience.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay, Jackie.
So, they're done riding our asses?
Scavs? Sure, maybe. Should be looking for a new spot to slice and dice, not gunning after us. But who knows? Real messed up pendejos, Scavs. Saw it yourself.
Many forces are fighting for control of Night City, but the mega corporations are the real showroom. The agent we're going to meet represents Militech, one of the largest companies in the private military sector.
Why are we stopping?
Remember the corpo off Dex's Shard? Ranger, she's in the area and we're gonna meet.
Let me guess. She's in hot corporal water. Desperate. Then you think you can use that.
See if I can, yeah?
Since Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG, preparation will be key when dealing with Night City's powerful, especially when these are corpos. Instead of just rushing in, let's assess the situation with our freshly installed Kiroshi optical scanner.
There. Let's take a closer look.
Now, this mission is very early on in the game. Like everything, like I mentioned, is that everything that they've shown is very early on in the game. It's going to prompt you into what it thinks you should be doing, but it's not going to stop you. It tells you, let's take a closer look. You don't need to. You can just jump down there. Also, in a little bit, he's going to stay back and kind of provide you cover, right? If you just go in there and start shooting now, you both just start shooting. However, those guys will probably kill you very quickly because they're high-level corpo agents. But you can do it.
Composite armor. Car's a fucking tank. Shit.
Yeah, Militech. No doubt about it. You sure you still want to meet him?
Yeah, gotta do this. But don't you move a damn muscle. Not unless I start, that is.
These guys are levels higher than we are. Let's try to approach them carefully.
Yeah. If you ever see question marks on their level, that usually in any game means they're much higher than you. I think it's been replaced with a skull icon or something. I can't remember, but I just remember it. If they're above your level, it'll very much notify you.
Stout, take it you were the one to call? Yep.
So, it doesn't show it, but there is a prompt to shake her hand, right? You don't need to do that. You can just stay back. She's obviously deceiving you. You can tell because look at her body language. And this is what they wanted to make very, very clear in this game is look at their body language. She's not welcoming right now, and this guy is looking kind of sus, right? So why would you approach?
Stout, take it you were the one to call? Yep.
Wanted? Think you're smart? Thought you could blackmail me, bitch? Set conditions?
Calm the hell down. What is this?
I've got you now, asshole.
You're insane. Who the fuck is this?
I'll know in 2 seconds flat. That fucking thing ready?
All set.
I want to point out that you can romance her, and it is confirmed. She is a romanceable character if you've gone down the corpo life path. I also want to point out that, yeah, she's definitely a top. She's definitely a top. Do you guys like being stepped on? Because,
Are you here alone?
The Corpos have hacked us through our personal link and have subjected us to a kind of lie detector program. The dialogue system in Cyberpunk 2077 is fully gameplay driven.
I asked if you came alone.
So yeah, that was a perfect example of taking your time, not answering, doing your own thing. She kept prompting. She was like, I asked if you came alone. Hello, I'm talking to you. Like, she wants you to answer. If you don't, she's probably just going to shoot you, right? Like, I don't know what happens if you just leave it, but I assume she's not going to be happy and she's going to probably kill you. So,
yep.
There's always
just
that.
Little old me.
She's lying.
Search the area.
Now listen, please. We don't need to be here all day. This piece of shit, Anthony Gilchrist. Did he or another asshole at Militech leak info to you or anyone else about a convoy?
It might be tempting to reach for the gun, but the consequences
Got
could be
nothing to
dire.
do with him or
Remember,
Militech.
these guys are really tough.
Shit. Checks out. You got nothing on me. Nothing. Won't get away with this, you bitch. You're dead.
Somebody shut him up.
Take me home. Now.
Tactics loves doms. No.
All right. I have no idea who you're working for or what you even want, but you better give me something solid or I will end you.
All right. First, I've got to address
solid or I will end.
I've got to address a few things the chat is going crazy with. She's probably a starfish, huh? She's a brat tamer. Yeah, she is. I bet you she's a sweetheart once you get to know her. She's just a hard ass outside, right? I don't know. None of the female options for me have been particularly alluring. I gotta be honest. Yeah, she's not. I don't know. She's not my type. But anyway, I've got an offer for you. I'm working for Dexter Deshawn, or now no reason at all, and you can pull out your gun and fight. So, it's not really giving you much of a choice. You can either fight, which is probably not going to go well considering he has a pistol aimed at your face, You can mention that you're working for Dexter. She might be favorable with that based on the fact that he's well known, but you end up going with got an offer for you. If you've gone Nomad, you'll kind of have another option. You'll know how the convoy was robbed and you'll know like certain details. If you went Corpo, when she gives you the chip, which will happen soon, just keep this in mind, you'll know, you'll figure out that she's up to something. And I think that is what kicks off the kind of romance with her. Like if you follow what she wants and do things the way she wants, I'm guessing that you can keep taking missions from her and eventually fall into that
I've got an
romance.
offer. Oh, you are stretching. This better be fucking good.
Gangoons who ripped you off? I know where to find them. They got a bot I want. Give me the funds to buy that bot. You can do what you want with the gang.
I don't give a shit about the thieves. I want my mold. Cred chip, 50K. Just enough to buy you your bot. Thing is, chip's gotta make it into the thieves' terminal. That's all I need. Think you can do that? Then we got a deal.
All right. So, it's got to make it into their terminal. Street Kid and Nomad don't pick up on that, but a Corpo will. So the Corpo option down here will be, it's going to make it into the terminal or something, clearly you're up to something. So depending on your life path, you'll be able to take literal different paths within different missions. So it is quite dense that way.
Fine. I'm in.
Try to fuck me in any way, and I'll be seeing you real soon.
You're making a mistake!
Try to fuck her in any way and she'll be seeing you real soon. Maybe to fuck you. Just saying.
This cunt's good as dead! She'll take you down with her.
The agent gave us the money to buy the bot we need from the gang. By choosing to call the Militech agent earlier, we have now opened up a non-violent path through this quest. Of course, we could try and keep the money, but that would mean we'd have to take the merchandise by force, which requires a lot of firepower.
50,000 credits, 50,000 eddies is a lot of money. A lot in this universe.
I say put.
Good thing, too. Went down about like I expected. Made a deal, and we're good to meet with Maelstrom now.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that would be you'd probably have Militech on your back and Maelstrom on your back for that, which would be a really bad choice just for 50,000 credits. But that could buy you a lot of things. You could probably get the latest
Be there
weaponry.
soon. What do you expect?
Corps don't forgive or forget. Even these Borg fucks sense that. Feel the pressure. That's why they're holed up in this shithole, praying to the almighty Trip 6. Gotta move the tech, but they can't.
She doesn't orgasm, she just offs you in bed. She's like a Black Widow, huh? Praying mantis, she'll bite your head off after sex.
How you want to do this?
Even now, we can choose how to approach this quest. Do
All
we
right.
go in
This particular scene here, we'll notice a little bit later on in one of the other trailers. You drive up to the All Foods factory. You drive there. In another one, Jackie takes a bike and meets you there. So I'm not sure how exactly that works, but it seems like there's a lot of different approaches. Like, remember how Jackie was kind of waiting for you when you get in the car with him? Maybe you don't get into the car with him, and maybe you find your way to the All Foods, and when you get here, you call him and he'll meet you here. Right, maybe that's an option. Anyway, just think about it, because you don't need to get in the car with him. You don't need to go to Meredith Stout. So all these permutations will lead to different outcomes, and it's actually insane to think about. Like, imagine being CD Projekt Red and having to think of all these different situations, like not getting in the car with Jackie, or not visiting Meredith Stout, or walking there alone, or walking there with him, or riding there with him, or driving there with him. Like, it's just, there's a lot
guns
to it.
blazing, or do we try to negotiate
All right,
for the bot?
plan's simple. We pay with the Corpo's cred and get out.
I don't know, but you're calling this one.
For this demo, let's try the
What,
more
don't trust my
diplomatic
charm?
approach.
Tough shit. All we need's for them to buy it.
Don't know you.
Want to talk to Royce?
Main room. I'm waiting.
That was easy, wasn't it? For someone super suspicious. Now this is all
damn well prepared.
very high-tech
Strapped with
gear.
Militech gear.
Psycho Borgs chromed out with military grade.
All right, I want to put like a hierarchy in your mind here. There's lower tier gear. There's stuff like your mum and dad pick up at a vending machine kind of gear. And then there's, you know, your slightly better stuff, you know, like it might be like your equivalent to a Lexus. And then there's the top of the range stuff. The top of the range stuff is your Arasaka and your Militech and your big corpos. So to have Militech gear at the front, especially Militech turrets, that is going to be a very difficult fight. So if you go in guns blazing, you need to be focused on combat to be able to make it through here without probably taking a few deaths. That's my assumption at any rate, because there isn't much better than Militech turrets. There isn't much in the universe that's better, this whole Cyberpunk universe. So I don't know if it's going to be exactly like that, but two of them right at the front, I'm guessing you don't want to just break in guns blazing. Unless you've done something, unless you've prepared for it. Anyway.
Hardware worth millions.
Or if you're a net runner, because that's a possibility
The guys
you can
we're
have.
about to meet
But you need
are
to be strong.
dangerous. They are members of the Maelstrom gang, and their obsession with body modification goes way beyond even this world's standards. On their path to becoming machines, they don't shy away from even the most extreme measures.
Anti-personnel mine. Shrapnel splitter. My favorite.
Gangoon's getting creative with their gear.
It looks like they made this abandoned All Foods meat factory their hideout. Charming.
Another one? Seriously?
Maybe we should have taken him by surprise.
A little late for regrets like that. Got us in their sights now. Just keep moving.
So that suggests that there can be a stealthy way to get through. So, like all of these kinds of games, there is going to be a hidden entrance. And you can stealth through and do what you need to do without setting them all off. And that's one way to avoid all of this stuff. And with a stealthier build, you probably want a bit of tech, or you want a bit of at least some net running abilities, so you can hack your way through all of this stuff. And you'll see later on in the deep dive video that if you do approach a situation where you're hacking things and stealthing through, all of these kind of high level, weaponry and stuff will be completely avoided, because you can just kind of make them malfunction or hack them to your side or avoid them completely. So that is one way through.
Stay cool. They're just trying to spook us.
Remember, we've chosen to buy the tech, not steal it. Hopefully this will go fast and easy. This is a pretty well-guarded place. You can imagine what would have happened if we'd taken the violent path.
What?
Looking to buy a bot. Model MTO D12. Looks like a spider.
Couch planted.
Planted. Alright, so that's Dum.
Peek around the corner, see if we got anything like that.
Alright. Now one of the outcomes is you go through the deal smoothly. If so, perhaps it's the beginning of a beautiful relationship with Maelstrom. Now, it gives you the option to sit. That once again locks you in. It's one way to get the conversation to flow, but you don't have to sit.
Can't move on your culo. Makes you an easy target.
Sit down.
That really necessary, hombre?
I ain't your hombre. Sit. Sit your ass down before I plant a bullet in your skull.
Jack, sit down.
This ain't gonna end well, but...
Shit. Well, alright. Fucking bravo. Come on, lighten up. Have a whiff.
Alright, have a whiff. It says S. Keith, right? But this is Street Kid. This take inhaler action is only available to you if you're a street kid, because you know what the inhaler is and you know how to do this stuff, all right? Now, this is probably one of the only ways to really get in the good books of Maelstrom. That's my assumption at any rate. So if you're going street kid, perhaps you can develop a relationship to an extent you can get side quests or side missions from these guys. So you take the inhaler, you go through the mission, doing the right thing, buying the bot legit, walking out there. Corpos don't like you. You've helped the Maelstrom. But that's what a street kid would do, right? Whereas the Corpo style can be, the Corpos can love you, right? And the Nomad style can be, I don't know, it's probably a mix of both, right? But anyway, that's something to think about.
Better.
Say no drugs, kids. It's just his insulin, man.
Now we can talk.
In liquid form.
The bot. Need to see it.
Suit yourself. Fucking tricked out, state-of-the-art this thing. Don't even got no standard port. Bells and whistles though, dynamic camo armor and motor impulses rivaling that of the human nervous system.
The reason he's selling this so hard
titanium
is because we could have used this goddamn bot. This is the only thing I'm actually disappointed that they removed. There's a few other things I'll go through in a sec that they removed, but this is the number one thing I'm pissed off about that they removed. Anyway, you'll notice that when he's got this linked in and he's seeing through its eyes, so to speak, his face, I don't know what you call those, sensors or something, they go blue and it goes down to just the middle optic.
fiber, and it can go anywhere, literally. Watch this.
Which is a nice little
fully integrated link too.
bit of detail.
So when the spider starts crawling up walls, dangling from ceilings, you could lose your lunch. So, what you think?
And there it goes back to red.
Get the fuck out of here.
The bot. I'll take it.
2 questions. What the fuck's going on? And who the fuck is this?
So, do I need to explain? Eddies are on a chip, fuck you, or draw a weapon. Fuck you and draw a weapon, both are negative outcomes. Fuck you could probably be salvaged because you haven't exactly done anything violent yet. He might respect it, who knows? We haven't seen that outcome. However, draw a weapon is, which we'll see in one of the later trailers, is when you pull a gun and put it underneath his neck, right? And you can, oh, actually, do we do that here?
Got 50.
No, just the eddies. You draw and put it under his neck, okay? And then there's the option to shoot. And if you shoot, you kill him. And he's just straight up, you've killed the boss straight away. That is an option. However, you will have to fight, and then Maelstrom will hate you. But here's another option.
And you positively reek of Militech.
Dexter Deshawn sent me.
Dexter Deshawn. Dreads. Gold plate. Fat old fuck. That him?
So that gives you a little Mass Effect Renegade button prompt limited time kind of action. You don't need to draw your weapon there. You can leave it. You can wait till he finishes talking. But he decided to take the Renegade action and draw the weapon at that particular moment. You may have been able to resolve the situation just by talking. Well, most definitely could resolve it by talking. But in this particular case, he draws the weapon, doesn't shoot, and resolves the situation, as we can see. So it's not always the nice thing that gets things done. And that's something you need to keep your eye on because...
How much you say you had? 50K?
CD Projekt Red likes to subvert your expectations.
Move it.
Woo, not the smoothest of deals, but it worked out in the end, right? Flathead's good gear. It'll do the trick. Whatever that trick is. Shit.
So he's about to destroy his whole system and kill all of his netrunners, right? Because Militech has put in a deadly virus in that chip. You can fix the chip. There is an option to fix it. And then it's just credits, right? But in that case, something else will happen. I think Militech ends up fighting Maelstrom instead, or you just walk out and nothing happens. You can just get it done. But you'll notice that Dum Dum there was pretty pliable. You know, he's like, shit, it wasn't the best deal, but we got there in the end. It feels like if that was just legitimate credits, you'd just walk out the front door at that point. There's a Netrunner, nice and dead. Kresnikov.
It turns out the cred chip we got from the Militech agent...
You see what I mean there? Like, a virus will literally fry you. Look at that. You melt. So do you really want to put in foreign objects into your skull?
It turns out the cred chip we got from the Militech agent contained a virus which fried their system.
Virus must have driven security.
Royce, their leader, is making a break for it.
Militech had to end this way.
Before we figure out a way to leave, let's grab the splinter that controls the bot from one of these dead Maelstromers.
So,
Maelstromers.
Back in this build, you can loot bodies
had to end this way.
Before we figure out a way to leave,
by scanning first.
let's grab the splinter
You can
that
see
controls the bot
who has items on them, and then you can take, equip, hold, body, and move it. So you can move the body, put it somewhere else. I'm guessing that's good for stealth, like in the Hitman series. But other than that, they haven't integrated a kind of loot feature, it seems, just yet. But I believe there will be one in the game.
The inspection system allows us to take a closer look at the splinter.
All of that
inspect specific items
item screen has
to
been
reveal
updated
details
as well.
that can help in solving quests.
All of this is too fast, too furious. All right, all of this has been updated. All of it. It doesn't look like this anymore. So there's almost not even any point breaking this down, but you can see here, level 2, street cred 1. You won't be level 2 at this section. You'll be much higher. Also, this is probably all just placeholder. I don't think you'll have any kind of resistance that high yet. Damage, this is gone. Like, there's no way it can... This is all just fluff. This is all just like someone has just put this on, like Photoshop this in almost, because it just does... None of this is real. So don't even look at that. And in a second, they'll just boost the character's level anyway.
Okay, let's equip the splinter into our chipware slot. With this done, the bot will now follow us wherever we go. All right, what else do we have here? Nice. A street...
So you notice there, I mentioned it before, but when you pick up a new gun, you'll do a little animation. That is an example of the little animation. So... This is a tech shotgun. Tech weapons can shoot through objects. Pretty simple.
Modified tech shotgun. Tech weapons fire rounds that penetrate walls and other types of cover.
And
they
people's
also
faces.
have an alternate fire mode that allows you to power up shots and deal more damage.
You literally just hold down the fire button and it charges and shoots.
It looks like there are several ways out of this room. Like those gates, for example. However, you'd have to be a skilled netrunner to hack into this terminal.
It's 5, it's not that skilled. You just need to have some skill.
Our engineering skills should allow us to disassemble that maintenance panel so we can get...
So we haven't talked too much about engineering. I'll go through it more in another video, but engineering helps you get through sections like this. It also helps you hack into cars, that kind of thing. There's also an ability to modify your weapons and your items and stuff like that. So that all falls under tech.
There are many skills in the game that players can apply in solving problems. The engineering skill can be used to fix, disassemble, and disarm devices blocking
Production
your
line
path.
passes through here.
And we're gonna pass through with it.
So,
Got
from
it.
this point on, we're going to unlock the abilities of a high-end character
There we go.
to showcase some of the different mechanics we have in the game.
I'll get him.
So you notice they're all level 3 now. She was level 2 when we had a look at her just before. They've unlocked abilities of a high level character. I'm unsure if that means the level has gone up as well, but it might mean that his killing them faster than you would be able to given this situation. Maelstrom are very modified and heavily dangerous, so I don't think you'd be able to kill them that quickly. Just keep that in mind. Ooh.
One of the new weapon modules we now have installed is a ricochet targeting system connected to our eyes.
So, this pistol is a power weapon. There's 3 different types of weapons. There's power, there's tech, and there's smart. Power weapons can do, like you just saw, ricochet off walls. And if you do that, you can ricochet them into people hiding behind cover or around the corner. With tech weapons, they can shoot through things. So if they're behind cover, you can shoot them, but you can't get someone that's behind, around the corner. So power weapon is better in that way. Tech weapon is just better straight up for shooting through things and not having to ricochet. And then you have smart. Smart weapons will essentially track a target and home, which we'll see very soon. Smart weapons require certain upgrades or modifications to use more effectively.
This allows
but they don't
players
do as much
to bounce
damage.
bullets off walls and hit enemies hiding behind cover.
Double jump is also, I think, an ability that you can unlock within reflex.
This is another targeting system that will reveal
That's tech.
enemies behind walls.
Shooting behind wall.
Paired with the penetrating rounds of our tech shotgun, it's a deadly combination.
Oh, I just love how you can shoot off their limbs. It's so good. Normally they just reserve that for like robots and stuff in games. They never let you kill dismember humans in those kinds of games, which, great, fantastic. Anyway, now we get the smart weapon here.
Looks like we found some loot. This is a smart gun. It's one of the more advanced weapons in the game, allowing bullets to track and follow their target. It's one of many different weapons players can acquire. Weapons are built of modules that allow for deep customization and progression.
So, he mentioned modules. We have a confirmation on what that means. You can modify your weapons. Well, I mentioned that tech has a specialty to let you modify. You can add visual upgrades like scopes, like silencers, like different clips, that sort of thing, which will add to the stats. But you can also chip your weapons, like modify a weapon without providing a visual upgrade. And those modifications, each weapon has a certain amount of slots based on the rarity, based on the quality of a weapon. If you insert, particular chips, they will modify the weapon in certain large ways. It can be making it so the weapon's ammo is non-lethal. There's one way to go through non-lethal playthroughs is simply modify your weapons so they shoot non-lethal rounds. There could be incendiary rounds. It could be things like they can ricochet when they're not meant to be able to ricochet. That sort of thing will all be a superficial upgrade versus something very visual. When the visual upgrades are like scopes, like I mentioned. So there's different ways you can modify weapons, and the slots that they have are based on their rarity.
You can be sure to find something that will suit your playstyle.
The toughest bastards guarding this route.
There's some reason for that. Now, this section of the Maelstrom base, the toughest bastards are defending this route. There's probably some reason for that. The reason is because there is a jail off to the side here. Off to the side. Now, that jail houses the former Maelstrom boss. Royce wasn't always the Maelstrom boss. The former Maelstrom boss was usurped, right? It's Captain Jack Sparrow, so to speak. Now, you can save Captain Jack Sparrow. The actual Maelstrom boss has a name. I just can't remember it right now. I've been talking for an hour and 43 minutes straight, so give me some leeway here. But the former Maelstrom boss can be saved or killed or whatever you want to do with him. And that is one way to approach this mission as well. If you go and rescue this guy and usurp Royce, perhaps the Maelstrom still like you, and then you've satisfied Corpos and Maelstrom. Could be something to think about. So you notice this smart weapon isn't quite as powerful as a tech shotgun, but it's good at getting people from longer range. Oh, so cool. Alright. He's playing on controller. Keep that in mind. This is on a controller. Also keep in mind, think about this. If you're thinking that smart weapons, because they have a reduced damage without investment into them, won't be as good. Just keep this in mind. You can fire smart weapons while driving. So things that are going very fast will not be able to escape. Keep that in mind. Boss's name is Brick. Thanks, dude. Is it Brick?
Jesus Christ! My legs!
Because you're in Kresnikov then. The sound obviously slows down, right, as well. So he shot his leg out. Jesus Christ, my legs, but shot his head before he finished the last part of that sentence, and it didn't stop. I just thought that part's funny. Jesus Christ, my legs. As he has no head to say it.
Jesus Christ! My legs!
Your head, buddy, your head. Did you notice that? So Jackie has modifications as well. It's not just you. It's your man Jackie as well. Watch him jump. Boom. Oh yeah, baby.
Just a
Modified legs.
reminder, everything you've seen and are about to see, including this particular feature we're about to show you, is from a work-in-progress version of the game and may change over the course of development.
There's a reason why he said that, because this has changed.
Let's try something different. We're going to take this guy down and connect directly to his neural sign. In the world of Cyberpunk, once you are jacked into a network, you have access to everything it connects to. Through this Maelstrom gang member, we've now connected to the gang hideout's internal network. This is the building's personnel system. Let's focus on the squad containing the Maelstrom ganger we just
So this has all changed. It doesn't look like this, and I don't think you hack into them the same way. Now with the net running kind of path, there is essentially what is remote hacking and actual up close hacking, right? I can't remember the exact names. We'll go through it soon. But remote hacking is your like combat hacking. You can do it as you're walking past people stealthily, and you can insert daemons or demons, however you want to pronounce it, to get them to explode or shoot themselves or pull a pin out of the grenade, that kind of stuff. It's for more combat oriented stuff. Now this is up close hacking. You can do this to doors, computers. It usually has a bigger result. In this case, it's disable all cyberware, or reduce all aiming of all the squad, or get access to everything. Now this has changed in a way. How it's changed, we're not sure. I just know it's definitely changed from this based on what CD Projekt Red have said. So let's continue.
From here, we can deploy software that affects the whole squad. For now, we'll simply unlock the
quick
ability
hacks is
to
the correct
perform
word, yeah.
quick hacks.
There we go,
All
quick
right,
hacks, yeah.
time to show off our new high-level abilities.
Okay. Can't do that anymore. Yeah, you can't wall run anymore. You can't lodge into the wall anymore. The Mantis Blades aren't as cool as they used to be, unfortunately. But Mantis Blades are, like he mentioned, high level. Okay, they're like legendary kind of upgrade. They will be, I'm not sure if they're going to be more powerful than, using a katana or another melee weapon, but we don't know the upgrade path. We don't know if it's in reflex. We don't know if you can modify these anymore with skills or perks or whatever, if they slot under melee. We don't know any of that. So I can't tell you which is better, if you should go Mantis Blades and avoid melee weapons, or if you should use melee weapons and just put in something else like a Gorilla Arms, which would increase your melee damage. We don't know why. We don't know the pros and cons, but I'll make a video on that once we know more.
With quick hacking, Using the backdoor we unlocked a minute ago, we'll install a virus that jams the connection between the Maelstrom Ganger and his weapon. This will prevent him from firing.
Ah! What the hell is...
Looks like he's having a problem now. Nice. Some of you might recognize these mantis blades. We can also double jump and bounce off of walls, which makes us a very agile, fast...
Yep, so double jumping is there, bouncing off walls isn't, unfortunately. Apparently, it caused too much issues when world building, which makes sense because it's such a huge world. They don't want to account for all of the little exploits you can do, right? Like if you ever watched like a Mario 64 speedrun, you'll notice all the exploits because you can double jump and get all height and wall jumping and all that stuff. It just creates so many exploits that they just can't possibly predict. All of those cyberware kind of upgrades, we don't know, but I assume there's going to be leg upgrades that let you go faster, jump higher, longer, that kind of stuff. Okay, so keep that in mind.
To solo.
Also, there's a reflex tree unless you double jump and stuff like that.
Check down here.
Double jumping seems pretty useful because you wouldn't have been able to cross that without it.
Sweet, we just found a corporate tech rifle. Corpo weapons are top of the line.
Now I want to quickly pause that. Ugh. So I mentioned before that Corpo stuff was like the best. Ugh. Not fast enough on the draw there, baby. There we go. All right, it's a Militech. It's a Militech. It was either Militech or Arasaka, but it's a Militech rifle. Now, it doesn't mean because it is Militech or Arasaka that it is, the best weapon. You can modify your lower end weapons as well to bring them up to the quality of these high end weapons. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're better in every way as well, because they could just simply do more damage. However, another weapon might have more ammo capacity, or might have more modification slots, or might simply just be a preference of yours. So just because they're the best quality weapons doesn't mean they're the best.
Sweet, we just found a corporate tech rifle. Corpo weapons are top of the line.
They're top of the line. But as you will see, it doesn't necessarily mean
Let's scan this guy and see what's going on. It looks like Royce is back, and he's prepped.
Okay, so the way you scan people has changed? Well, the actual way you scan them hasn't changed. You still scan them like this. However, what it shows on the heads-up display is kind of changed, and we'll go through that very soon with some of the new gameplay. However, it does still reveal weak spots, but now it will show what you can do with quick hacks, how much memory you have to be able to quick hack them as well, which I'll explain later. But we know he has
exoskeleton.
3 weak points.
You
Keep that in
won't be
mind.
able to get rid of him that easily.
And you can completely avoid his boss fight if you shoot him in the head before.
Because
Just keep
he's
that in mind.
packing an autonomous shield. Luckily, the scan we performed earlier revealed a weak spot. Attacking should bring the shield down.
One, Jackie has strength augments, obviously something in his legs and obviously something in his hands. He picked up that car like it was nothing. You use the smart weapon, you'll notice that in scenes prior, the smart weapon can target specific points on the body. In that particular case, there was only 1 point because you hadn't revealed a weak point yet. But I'm guessing once you do reveal the weak point, you can actually target it with a smart weapon, which would be interesting because you'll be able to sit back and hit their weak point from range. See, right now it's just a target. See that air dodge is probably something you unlock as well. See, we can notice that there's 2 points now that you can target with the smart weapon. And there's his weak point. Now, you'll notice this weapon. This weapon is intentionally made to be able to be dodged. Okay, he's a boss. If he hits you with it, you're going to die. It's almost making it so, like most boss fights, that you're able to, with skill, get through this fight without taking damage. Right? That's the intention. Because if you're a very low level character, or if you are speedrunning, or if you simply haven't invested into health, it would be very unfair if he could just hit you with his extremely powerful weapon. So this will shoot out plasma in a square. You can just sidestep it. It will shoot the beam. You can duck under or jump over. You want to do that to get to his back, which will be the weak point. Like so.
Shields down. Let's finish him off.
Boy, it ain't going your way, you cunts.
See how you can dodge it?
Okay, let's put him down and get this job over. That wasn't the smoothest raid, but we've got the bot, and Dex should be happy. But think back. What would have happened if we hadn't met with the Militech agent? Or told Royce about the agent and her plans? Or just decided to buy the bot ourselves? So many options, so many possibilities, and each will have consequences that will ripple through the game world and your story. And that's
I already went through that so many times.
Let's head out and finish the job.
About goddamn time. Let's get out of here.
So I wonder if you can sneak through this exit. You know, in like a game like Skyrim, the exit is normally like a wall that you need to open from the other side. Maybe this is just not able to be entered from this side. I don't know. But maybe in a stealth way you can get through this entrance and just kind of avoid everything. Could be an option. Chip had to clap.
You know, we really ought to work together more often.
She's more pliable now, isn't she? She's happy you did the work for her. Maybe, maybe you can give her the clap.
Your chip had the clap. That's not discreet. You set me up.
I fucked you over, you fucked the gang over. Somewhere at the start of the story, somebody fucked the corp.
And at the end of the story, somebody fucks you.
See how this works now? Only the corp gets what it wants. Remember that. Learn it. A couple years down the line, you'll be standing where I am.
I need to think about it. Now, if you're in Corpo, be another option there, won't there? Think about that. So you're in the good graces if you go through it this way. You also probably be in the good graces if you just get her what she wants. She wants the mole. That's essentially what she wants. She doesn't care how she gets it. She just wants that mole. Then maybe you can check out where she has moles.
Yep, being a raging bitch to whoever's doing my dirty work for me.
It's time we were on our way, Ida.
Okay, let's call Dex and...
Okay, you can call him here. I'm not sure if it automatically calls him here or he automatically picks up, but the way to hand in the mission is to talk to Dex. So call him, tell him that you've done it, and you can do that dynamically. And you can see at the top here,
dirty work.
Going pro. Close the deal with Dex, go back to Jackie's car, deal with the agent. Okay?
For me.
Now have a look.
It's time we were on our way, Ida.
You didn't deal with the agent, did you? So there's probably something more you can do. Oh, wait, actually you did deal with the agent. You dealt with them.
Okay.
You dealt with them.
Let's call Dex and tell him how things
you
went
didn't get
down.
the best outcome. And then the next section is report to Dex, and that would be calling him. So it's a lot better than having to go back to Dex and hand it in.
Hey, Mr. Dex. Get us that table.
All right.
At the afterlife?
Matter of fact, I did. Just in my gut and all, you know.
All right, here it is. So Jackie's picked up the hammerhead. I'm guessing that Dex tells you can just keep it when you do continue on, right?
Well, you were right to.
But that won't happen anymore.
Well done, Miss B. Well done.
All right, street cred level 2. There is levels and there is a street cred. Street cred will influence the level of gear that you can buy from vendors, the ranks of missions that you can take, and so on and so forth. It's like an artificial barrier to stop you from taking on things out of order, so to speak. Because you might be able to just like in an MMO grind rats until you're a certain level. But in this case, rats will probably be the homeless. You can probably grind things until you're a certain level and then go and do these missions completely out of order and skip certain things. So street cred will kind of keep you in line. You can't get street cred unless you building your reputation up. So why should you be able to go to the afterlife, take the baddest and biggest missions straight up without earning your place? You can't. You need street cred. That's how it's going to work.
Shit, I can't believe it, Ina. Major leagues. We're in. I mean, we fucking pried the door open.
But the only thing I'm gonna pry open right now is a bottle of scotch.
And your legs.
Oh, no. Not another three-nighter. Por favor.
Por favor.
Need to get to know this city, Jack. Not just gun in hand. I'm on a crusade.
Amen, Ina.
We finished the job, but our story is just beginning.
Friends, what did we think? I personally think that is the best trailer they've ever done. By far. 48 minutes, non-stop gameplay, no BS, no messing around talking about gangs and all that stuff. Like, I love that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love the lore. But that was just straight up show us gameplay. So good. Such a good trailer. I'll take a few moments to talk to all of you lovely people right now. So tell me what you think. What did we have? And then I'm going to jump straight into the... Actually, let me get it loaded up. I'll jump straight into the... Where is it? Not Tools of Destruction. Not teaser trailer. I might have to find it. Gameplay breakdown? No, that's not it. That's the Night City Wire stuff. Let's jump into... where's the deep dive? There it is. Deep dive. This is my second favorite. Second favorite trailer. Go on for favorites first. And then we'll go through all the other stuff. But what do we think? You forgot about T-Bug. Yeah, T-Bug was there. Kinda annoying as... You guys aren't giving me much to go off here. I prefer lore, but still... You prefer lore. Interesting. I watched a 48-minute trailer like every week, man. I feel ya. The game is 70 gigabytes. CD Projekt Red have proven their ability to optimize. They 100% have. I don't know how they fit this all in 70 gigabytes, but it doesn't say anything about the game's size. It says something about their ability to optimize, like you say. Marlon Sebo, thank you. Do you think they had the time to polish the melee gameplay or not? Yeah, I think they have. Because, and they mentioned this in many interviews, that what you kind of saw was early on. So when you start out with a particular weapon, you're going to be terrible with it. If you're using a pistol, you fumble a bit with the clip, it's going to fire slower. You're not going to be as proficient. The same with melee weapons. If you get a katana is a very skill-based weapon. That's why it's in the reflex tree and not in the strength tree. To use a blade, to wield a blade, you need to have good reflexes and good coordination. So at the start, you're going to be terrible with it. You're going to just be... But as you get better with it, you're going to be a ninja, right? So what we saw was kind of early on and not late game gameplay with the melee weapons. So yes, they will be getting better. We can go through that soon because we see a little bit of it, I think, in this trailer. A little bit of melee, but that's mostly fist-based. But we'll get to it. I usually just watch the supercut you put together. Wow, 4 hours, isn't it? Good on you. Do you think relationships will be like Skyrim or feel like relationships? They will be like relationships. They won't be like Skyrim. So essentially what's going to happen is with your flings, with your basic relationships where you walk up to a person, you flirt with them, you buy them a drink, you take them home, you bang them. That kind of stuff will be very Skyrim in that it's not going to be anything that has a storyline. Whereas the actual relationships, and we've apparently seen all of the characters that we can potentially romance in the game already in all of the trailers, and I put together a video, it's on my channel, that goes through the potential ones that you can romance. So I've already kind of jokingly put together that video. But those romances will be a long-term thing. It'll be like, you meet them, they might be interested, they might not be. You kind of have to gauge that. You kind of have to go through some quests, go through some missions, maybe go on dates before you'll actually be able to do anything. It'll be more Mass Effect than it will be anything else, which is why a few people were disappointed with the Skyrim DLC. I can't remember the name of it, but the vampire one, where you kind of meet this girl, you kind of bond, form a relationship, and then you can't romance her. It was the stupidest thing ever. It was like, that was the perfect romance, you know, you get to know her, you go on missions with her, you hang out with her, and then, you know, you develop a relationship. Unlike the other relationships where it's just, she carries your burdens for a while and then you put a ring on her and she's yours, right? Like, it just seemed a bit odd. But in Cyberpunk, it's going to be a big thing, and they've already said that. So it's a lot more in depth. To that, what extent that is, I don't know. Since it's rated M, 15 plus, I don't think there's going to be hardcore banging scenes. There will be, you know, implied blowjobs. There'll be implied sex scenes, but I'm not sure how hardcore that will be. So I'm not sure it's going to be like, hey, press A to bang like it is in God of War, except with full frontal nudity. I don't know, but we'll see how that relationship pans out. All right, Death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah, we're going to see Death by Snoo Snoo soon. Another vampire. Yep, that's her. I do want to see PS4 gameplay. I want to see Xbox gameplay. But let's be real here. It's not going to be as good as PC gameplay. There's just no way. Consoles just historically will never be as powerful as a high-end PC. It's just how it is. It has potential to be more consistent. They have potential to be more portable, more accessible, cheaper, but definitely not as high-end. So that's just how it is. Will this game run on the old consoles HDDs or not? This game will run on old consoles. Yes, it will run on Xbox One and PS4s. 100% confirmed. Anyway, let's get into this.
Hey V, you
we have a lot to cover.
Let's do this.
You gonna give out with this shit?
This particular bit, we don't know too much about, except that that's Bridget. Bridget is who you seek out to discover more about the chip in your head, the immortality chip. This is post Dexter Deshawn. This is after Dexter Deshawn. So this is the furthest out in terms of gameplay we've ever seen and will ever see, I think, unless they bring us something new. But this is the most closest to endgame there is, even though it's nowhere near it.
Okay.
Whoops. All right, let's go back. I'm sorry that I cut out the display there. Whoopsies, whoopsies.
Let's do this.
All right. This scene here was what I just talked about. My face is the best part. Why would you want to see that? Why would you want to see this? This is horrible.
Okay. What now?
Barry.
Johnny?
Johnny. So we kind of had a hint that Johnny Silverhand had something to do with this even way back then. No one actually picked up on it. You're in the net. This is their data bank. Bridget?
Where are we?
Our BBS.
Data fortress.
Data fortress, not bank. Fortress.
Bridge to the deep net.
Sounds cooler.
Beyond, there are no borders. Beyond the black wall.
I won't pause this because we'll go through this all individually when it comes up.
Welcome to the Cyberpunk 2077 2019 Deep Dive video. In last year's gameplay reveal, we showed you our vision for the world of Cyberpunk 2077, its quests,
Stop where you are!
and visual design. This year, we'd like to give you a peek at some of the playstyles you'll be able to adopt as your character progresses through the story.
Here goes nothing.
You're about to see sequences embodying two distinct approaches to playing Cyberpunk. We'll show you a strong solo build, that is, a character who focuses on employing blunt force and taking instant action, and a netrunner build.
Just want to point out, before he goes too deeply into this, that you can't actually pick a class like this. You can't actually pick netrunner or a strong solo or whatever. Okay, this is all just fluff, so you understand kind of how they've built their character. But you can be a netrunner and have, like 7 in reflexes instead of technical. You don't need to build this particular way, and you can't select netrunner as a class, just like you can't select strong solo. It's just what they've named the two different playstyles that they've
Netrunner build. A playstyle taking frequent advantage of stealth tactics, hacking, and battlefield control achieved using malicious software. Additionally, you'll learn more about Pacifica, one of the game's districts, 2 gangs, the Animals and the Voodoo Boys, and you'll see glimpses of Johnny Silverhand, the digital construct who haunts our main character, V. A word of caution. Given that the video covers a section of the game deep into the main storyline, we have edited the footage to contain as few spoilers as possible. Be aware that the gameplay as presented does reveal characters and locations you'll see while playing the game's main story arc, so watch at your own discretion.
If you haven't seen this trailer and you don't want to be spoiled, I'm probably going to spoil it. Just saying. So I've seen a few of you jump off. I've seen a few viewers jump out of it. I don't blame you. But when I was at E3, and you can see it on my Instagram, they took us to this awesome, tricked out bar, essentially. And off to the side, we watched a person actually play through this section of the game, live. It was done. The game was able to be played. And we saw a lot more than what is shown here. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to record. So I know a little bit more about this mission than is shown. And I'm not sure how to talk about it without spoiling certain things. So, it's not, they're not really spoilers. It's not really a spoiler because there's so many different outcomes. I just know a little bit about the outcomes. That's all. So just keep watching. It's not going to ruin the game for you.
Where are we headed? This way.
This way.
In this video, you'll experience a segment of a quest from the middle of the game. We're currently in Pacifica, one of Night City's 6 unique districts.
No Pacifica, well? Nah. You guys aren't exactly great at rolling out the welcome mat for outsiders.
It was designed to be a tourist hotspot within the city.
As is Pink Shot.
As you can see, this didn't pan out. When uncertainty struck the global economy, investors pulled their funding, leaving most establishments unfinished. It's one of those places where expectations and reality collided, resulting in a heap of disappointment. Ongoing gang wars plague this part of the city. Outsiders don't come here if they don't have to. Even by Night City's standards, it's dangerous to those unfamiliar with it. Taking a casual stroll here would not be a good idea. A fast motorbike or armor-plated car would be the safer option. But places like this have their advantages. If you're in need of rare goods or illegal cyberware, Pacifica's bustling local markets are a good place to start your...
So you notice that Placide was level 40 and you're level 18 here. I think level 18 is probably more closer to reality. So you won't be level 40 when you reach this area. This is still fairly early on. It's just after Dexter, Deshawn's kind of mission line. But Pacifica is an area to get, you know, your black market stuff. Now, the Voodoo Boys are a gang from essentially an island that was destroyed, essentially, right? Not destroyed, but went on decline. So they've come here and essentially they've made it their own area, right? Like they've taken over and they think it's theirs. This is their own little island in Night City. So they are dangerous, you know. So keep your eyes open.
Search.
So this is
Grand Imperial Mall.
So this is the more updated look of what we saw compared to the 2018 48-minute demo. This is a little bit more updated, but even still, what you're going to get as an end product is different to this. So you can equip, you know, your cosmetic look and your armor. So you can equip what you look like, but you can have stats underneath that. So if you don't like the look of something, you don't have to look that way. It's not like World of Warcraft where you get new shoulders and you put them on and they're green and, you know, you got a pink chest piece and a blue set of pants, you know. So you're not going to be mishmash like that. You can focus on your look and you can look the way you want.
The Grand Imperial Mall is a whole other story. It was one of the last developments in Pacifica to lose its funding.
This is part of a main quest, I'm fairly certain, because you need to discover more about your immortality chip.
It stood vacant,
and
but now a gang called the Animals has moved in for reasons unknown.
Something's not going right for the big guy up top.
And that's what we need to learn in order to earn the trust of the
And you'll notice they're all level 18 as well.
Rivals.
What the hell?
Could fucking tell me what you plan to do first.
You take job. You do what I say. So you jack in now.
Remember how I said you got to be a little cautious? Well, you'll see an instance there where he's like, wait a minute, I'm not just jacking into some random thing, right? Like he could kill you, right? He could kill you by doing that. So you might need to be a little cautious. In this particular case, Placide wants to essentially see what you see and be where you are. So he wants to log into your system, into you, right? So just keep in mind that doing that is dangerous.
Of the many gangs in Cyberpunk 2077, the Voodoo Boys are the most skilled at using the net.
You have now seen Pernizo Agwe, our subnet.
Why? What for?
You are my vessel now.
There you go.
Through Agwe, I see what you see, hear what you hear.
This mysterious
Even
gang
his wording,
highly
right?
skilled-
Even his wording is very, you do what I do. You take job. You are my vessel now. So he's God. He is your God. That's how he's treating this situation. So if you wanna learn about body language, you wanna learn about, you know, psychology, the way people word things, do it. It's probably gonna help you with this game because that one is very, very obvious what his intentions are there. Okay, it's not pure. He's not holier than
Netrunners
thou.
has close ties to the local Haitian community.
You are V. We have been waiting.
Haitians settled in Pacifica in the 2060s after
Got a sick
natural
kid cheating
disasters
wife,
struck
need
their
money for
island
booze
and
ASAP.
forced them to emigrate en masse. The Voodoo Boys gang formed around this same time, though at a smaller scale. Now the gang effectively rules Pacifica. The Voodoo Boys don't usually work with outsiders. Lucky for us, it seems they're prepared to make an exception this time.
Mr. Hand sent me. Said you got merc work needs doing.
Still, to earn their trust, we need to prove our worth.
Mr. Hand is like Dexter Deshawn. He's a fixer. I think you need to do a few quests before you can take on the mission to let you get to Bridget. Bridget is who you need to find to help you discover what's going on in the deep net. Now, without spoiling things because this is the lore of the game. The lore of the game is essentially Johnny Silverhand had a girlfriend, and this girlfriend got stuck in the net. Essentially, her consciousness got stuck in the net. The side effect of Johnny removing her body from the net, not knowing that she was in there. So he essentially killed her to an extent, killed her body. Anyway, getting this immortality chip, Johnny's consciousness is on that, or a portion of his consciousness. And so that's why you're seeing him. So my assumption is he wants to eventually access the net and find her. That might mean going through this black wall, which is also where the Voodoo Boys want to breach as well. So there might be some crossover there. However, Bridget is going to know a lot about the net, a lot about Johnny's girlfriend. She's going to know a lot about what this immortality chip is, what an engram is, which is basically someone's consciousness uploaded into digital form. She's going to know about all of that. So that's where this is going.
Placide, one of the Voodoo Boys' higher-ups, has offered us a mission. We need to
her name is
infiltrate
Old
the Grand
Cunningham.
Imperial Mall, currently occupied by the Voodoo Boys' deadly enemy, a gang called the Animals.
2035-07.
If you want to know more about the lore, I've made a lore video. It's very in-depth. That's why I'm not kind of diving too deeply into that, but it's on my channel.
3 seconds before, poof, the camionette. We try to learn where the camionette come from.
Camionette.
The Animals are not your normal gang. Their presence in Pacifica is suspicious. They value might above all else and wear melee combat implants to raise their prowess in combat. Their beverage of choice is juice, a potent strength and speed-enhancing concoction. As sought-after bouncers, they're usually dispersed throughout town. As skilled street-level business types, they've cornered the market in illegal substances and underground live-or-die prize fights. When they converge in one spot, it's for something big. It's then they appoint the fastest and strongest among them as their ad hoc leader. In this case, it's a woman named Sasquatch.
Sasquatch. We'll talk more about her soon, but the Animals are a gang that aren't really a gang, all right? It's like almost a union. Think a union of builders, right? Builder A might not know Builder B, right? They don't hang out, they don't have drinks, but they come together when they're needed to come together to, usually ask for more money. That's what unions do. But in this case, the Animals don't really have a hideout. So when they're all converging on a place like this, there's a reason for it. And the reason for it is they've been hired, right, by someone. Anyway, they are your super strong, tanky, melee kind of gang, all right? So if you want to potentially get on their good side, he mentioned they have an ad hoc leader that's the fastest and strongest, so they respect strength. I have a suspicion, and I'll back that up very soon with evidence, that you can almost walk through the front door and just challenge them to a street fight or a ring fight. There is a scene in one of the latest bits of footage, I think it's the weapons trailer or one of them, where you're fighting them in a ring. So I think that's one way to get through non-violently, or at least as non-violently as you can, is just challenge them, beat them, and then get their respect. In this case, we are going in guns blazing.
One in my bed. No. As far as I remember,
Notice how they...
brain buffaloes on steroids. Afraid that's the...
They are on steroids. They're on juice, which is, steroids, essentially, but really powerful steroids. It's like horse hormones, basically. They also have cybernetics that enhance their strength, and they have strong as hell muscles surrounding those cybernetics. And you'll notice that some of them, and keep an eye on this, have skin stretched over cybernetics, but because they've been jacked so far, the skin's stretched to reveal the cybernetics underneath their muscles. I think that's a pretty cool detail. And you'll see that very soon.
doing biz.
This is the tech Placide was talking about. It seems non-standard for the Animals. And this is where we come in. Getting to the van won't be easy, but we're more than qualified for the job, which we can complete in one of many ways. The character creation in Cyberpunk 2077 is...
And this is how it's going to be, okay? This is how it's going to be at release. You pick Nomad, Street Kid, Corporate. I'm not sure if this flavor text is going to change, but this is your beginning choice, okay?
The kind you'd expect from a full-fledged RPG. You start by choosing your past. Important because this...
And as you notice, and as we've explained in the 48-minute trailer, that your life path will influence the conversations you have, the side missions that you can do to an extent, and the relationships you can have. So there will be Street Kid, Corpo, and Nomad specific relationships you can have, as well as little other takes on completing missions based on your path. So if you're a Street Kid, you know that the crypt doesn't inspire confidence. I mean, sure. I mean, anyone could have told you that, but it probably makes her say something to reveal a bit more of the mission. Maybe there's another way you can approach it.
Unlocks special options at important story junctures. You also fully customize your character.
And this is how I think it's going to be at release as well, where it kind of covers you up. I'm not sure 100%, but it looks more like this.
Using a deep customization system.
And the sliders are not like this actually, but it's still sliders. It doesn't look like this. This has been updated, but yes, how you can change your face
style, but also your ability.
And you'll notice that it's down to 5 instead of 6 attributes. You have body, intelligence, reflexes, technical, and cool. You don't have a health one anymore. Health raises with your level, okay?
Cyberpunk 2077 does not beat...
All right. I have gone through this extensively, and I've gone through every single perk, potential perks. I haven't gone through every single perk, that's a lie. Every single skill though, and attribute, okay? So I go through exactly what all these attributes are. I go through exactly what these skills are in a video on my channel. So I'm not gonna go through all that now, otherwise we'll be here for another 40 minutes because there's a lot to talk about. But essentially, how this works is your maximum reflex, which is 4, is how high the associated skills can go. So if you've got a reflex of 4, your handguns can level up to 4. You level that up by using handguns. That influences how many perks you can have in that particular skill. So if you have level 9 reflexes, you can have a level 9 of handguns, and then you can have a lot more perks within handguns. And those perks might be anywhere from faster firing to certain buffs to different things to make you just better with handguns. The same thing for intelligence, except intelligence has changed. It's no longer just hacking, it is hacking and quick hacking. Well, it's a different kind of hacking. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but like I mentioned, quick hacking is, your combat hacking, you're doing it at range, and then hacking is literally hacking like you would in Fallout or a game like that. Also, blades falls under reflex. Body has a melee that doesn't have two-handed anymore. That's all under 1. And it's shotguns falls under another skill, which also includes heavy weapons. So that's all changed as well. Also, this has changed. Cool has changed. I can't remember exactly what the difference is now, but I go through it in the video. And technical is separated into 2. There's engineering and there's crafting, like a customization tree. So all of that has changed. But if you need to know how it works, you just get attribute points at certain levels, you put them in, you level them up, and with your skills, they level up as you use them, okay? And then you get perks unlocked based on the level of your skill.
Your fixed classes.
And it's a huge skill tree with perks. Huge.
That allows players to mix and match a wide range of abilities to suit their play styles. You can create a strong solo character, a skilled netrunner, or any other hybrid class that you can imagine.
All right, let's go back and look at that.
It allows players to mix and match a wide range of abilities to suit the...
By the way, this isn't accurate, I don't think, and these aren't accurate, I don't think, because as I mentioned before, you start with 3 attributes in each of the 5. You can't go lower than 3, unless maybe there's negative in gear and stuff like that, but you start at 3, and then you can put in 7 anywhere else. Each level, we aren't sure if you get an attribute point, but the math doesn't work out right now with this. So I think this is all just fluff.
their play styles. You can create a strong solo.
So he uses an inhaler to get a boost. You see the boost up here. I think it is health. We don't know.
Character.
Ooh. So you get in the same video. There's a perk that let you crit randomly at any time as well.
A skilled netrunner, or any other hybrid class.
So that was a shotgun, then there was a throwing knife. You can use throwing weapons. And now this is, like the Mantis Blades, like the Gorilla Arms, is another body modification attached to your arms. And this one can be used to melee, and it can be used to remote hack as well for stronger abilities from just doing it normally. If you remote hack into them directly, you have more powerful options, and you'll see that. So that's a normal breach to blow up their grenade.
Let's see how a solo play style in Cyberpunk 2077 might work. Solos prefer a direct approach. They use guns and might to get things done. So let's wreak some havoc.
So you notice there, you'll notice to the side here, keep an eye on that he is getting experience as he uses things. So pistols before gave him pistol experience. He's using a rifle now, and he got rifle experience. In this particular case, I'm not sure how this has changed, but with a high enough strength attribute, you can rip turrets literally out of their sockets and use them to fire. With a high enough engineering ability, you can overwrite the turret and let the turret act as your ally, firing on their enemies. Now, to override, you only need 2, I believe. To rip off, you only need 2. It doesn't seem accurate, does it? I think this will change because only you can have a lot more than 2 strength. I think this will be no longer tied to your attribute. I think it's going to be tied to one of your skills. So this could all change. Just like this is engineering, this is probably tied to your skill. It's probably melee or something along those lines, or even a perk. But this has definitely changed. But those are the options.
With our
Gorilla Arms make it easier.
This turret of its weapons as the animals
and we'll see Gorilla Arms in a
their
sec.
own medicine. This is how a player investing in solo abilities might live out their Terminator
It gives you rifle
power
experience
fantasy.
as well. So you don't have good rifles, there's no
Enhanced
point ripping it off the
lets
wall.
us force open doors.
So you can see here, these are the Gorilla Arms. They can let you force open doors, I believe. I'm not sure if it's just tied to the Gorilla Arms now, or if it's tied, like I mentioned before, to your strength or to your skill. But ripping turrets out and opening doors like this, prying them open, is going to probably be in the strength attribute, okay?
Or grab enemies to use as human shields.
So you notice that you didn't require anything to grab him. You didn't require a skill to grab him. It just said grab him, right? I'm not sure if that's going to change as well, or if that needs to be a perk, but this is extremely powerful to use a body shield, especially since he's an animal and he's extremely strong. You'd imagine to be able to control someone like that, you need to have a bit of strength. Now, there is a non-lethal takedown option. You can do that from the start of the game, non-lethally take everyone down. However, you can't non-lethally shoot them until you upgrade your gun to have non-lethal rounds.
We also gain access to powerful melee combat cyberware. So even
That was Gorilla
someone
Arms?
as fast and strong as Sasquatch, the leader of this group of animals, is not impossible to beat for a solo.
All right, so I want you guys to notice something here, which I only noticed. Oh, I just missed it. This is going to be really hard to do outside of Premiere. Oh, okay. Now, I'm going to leave you guys to chat about this for a second while I go to the bathroom, but tell me what's going on here. Catch the industrial sledgehammer. Yes, you can. You can catch her weapon midair. I'm not sure if this is in the game. But if this is in the game, it's pretty fucking cool, because spam X or spam Y or whatever, when she throws it at you and you catch her hammer. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, she's got a ranged attack, which knocks you down.
Sasquatch has a different game plan. She's out to jack in and hack us.
Yeah. All right. So her whole stick and obviously she's beautiful, by the way. She's a princess, so why wouldn't you want her to jack in, if you know what I mean? Maybe jack off. But her whole thing is she's melee, you gotta avoid her, you gotta shoot her in the back. She has a weak point on her back, the glowy thing. I mean, it's pretty damn obvious. But if you get too far from her, she has a range, right? She has a perfect range. If you stay within that perfect range, she'll just chase you and try to melee you. But if you get a little bit further out, she'll throw her hammer at you. So she's very dangerous outside of that perfect range, right? If she knocks you down, which she can do with any hit, even the shockwave of a hit, and throwing a hammer at you, she can potentially do this to you, which will hack into your systems and disrupt you for a while, making it very difficult to continue the fight. So she's powerful. She's a powerful combatant. But
let's see how this plays out.
Let's see how it plays out.
Proceed. What's going on?
Okay. You know the fuzziness that's in my starting theme now as well, the new starting theme that we have made. So I've made it very cyberpunk, so that's just a little thumbs up there to this. Also, you'll notice there that you don't kill her. You knock her to the ground when her health reaches 0. So you have the option of keeping her alive. You have the option, and you're always given that option no matter what approach you take. So that leads me to believe that she could potentially be either a side quest, she could give you missions, potentially another approach, you know, like keeping her alive, using her against the Voodoo Boys or something along those lines, or potentially a romance. Why not? That would be something that CD Projekt Red does, honestly. Anyway, you'll see here that he chooses not to keep her alive.
It's our choice if we want to finish her off or spare her. You're Cyberpunk, your rules.
What a waste.
If you'd rather sneak around, hide, and strike from the shadows.
Doesn't this look like StarCraft 2? Doesn't this look like the guy, not a ghost, but like the modified version of Ghosts? Just, it's got that vibe.
No problem. Just develop your net running skills to get around obstacles or hack into enemy tech to have it do the dirty work for you.
So this is all quick hacking, by the way. If you want to do this stuff, invest in quick hacking, which is down the intelligence attribute.
Net running abilities mean hacking skills that let us use our cyber deck to...
So this is not quick hacking, this is your actual hacking, right?
Breach access points.
And then you get more powerful
options.
options.
We fill the buffer of our cyber deck with a string of instructions represented by these letters and numbers.
I'm not sure if it's going to be like this to hack in. If the minigame's like this,
instructions
I
for
think it's
basic
changed.
Access.
But if you do the certain sequence, which you see here, you can do different things. You can look at the camera log, you can encrypt the data in the network, look what's going on there. There's a prototype thing. I don't know what any of this will do, honestly. Officer tracing probably just shows you where all the officers are. But anyway, these are additional hacks that you can do, right? There will be things like in most of these kinds of games, stealth kinds of games, there will be open doors and reveal objectives or like find things or shut things down. It'll be very powerful to directly hack into stuff. Remote hacking is more combat-based.
Of devices connected to this network. The more instructions we match, the more control we gain over elements in the network. We can hack our way through in numerous ways. A quick hack may grant us control of the security camera. Another one should let us tweak the difficulty of the training bot to create a...
Okay, we can see that. Only one option for the training bot, but with a skill of 3, we can override safety, and we're warned that it will kill the guy.
Distraction. With our nanowire, we can even hack this guy's...
I mentioned the nanowire before.
Implants from a distance.
Boom. Then you can... I'm not sure if this is going to make quick hacking better or if this is going to provide you a way to direct hack into a person. But in this particular instance, it's direct hacking.
In this
Okay. Okay, so we saw how we breached into a system before. By using the nanowire, we can remotely directly hack, which is stupidly powerful, right? Like, remember how I mentioned that directly hacking into anything is incredibly powerful because you can reveal things, open doors, do all that stuff, right? And quick hacking is just, a combat-based thing. Like, you can remove the restrictions or crush someone or make their grenade explode or burn them. It's not gonna it's gonna hurt the people around them or create a distraction, but it's not gonna do something major. Whereas that's gonna let you do something major at range. So that's why that is powerful. Snake Eyes, thank you so much. Are you gonna romance Adam Smasher? Yeah, for sure. Are you gonna romance Sasquatch? Yeah, I'm gonna romance everyone, baby. You keep an eye on this channel. I'm going to show you all the romances.
Almost everything is connected to a local network.
So Placide is opening all these doors for you.
And that means it can be hacked.
And this is a quick hack as well. It just provides a distraction. Doesn't kill anyone. Doesn't do something major. Just lets you sneak past. So if you want to go
brings us back
stealth
to cyberspace.
If you want to go stealth, you go cool, and you go intelligence, or tech, based on how exactly you want to do it. But you need at least one of those three to be able to do it.
You don't get to do anything in the net unnoticed. There's always someone watching. It could be corpos, or even worse, it could be Netwatch. And that is exactly the case here.
Who is they? They have the way.
Netwatch. They always out to fuck us.
Netwatch and the Voodoo Boys are like fire and ice. The first of these wants to maintain the old order and protect people from AI anarchy originating from beyond the Black Wall. The Voodoo Boys want to establish contact with the free AIs. They believe this will enable their boundless expansion on the net and grant them the upper hand over Netwatch. Netwatch sees this as the end of the world. Both are right.
I want you to really think about what he just said there, because essentially what the Voodoo Boys want to do is they want to access an area of the net that was quarantined to stop rogue AI from literally destroying the world, right? Like there's no black and white to that. That's what the AI was going to do. Humans are a threat, kill everyone, right? Then we have Netwatch, who almost enforce the new order of things and keep that area of the net safe. They might abuse their power a little bit in 2077. We don't know. Maybe they're just like trying to control the whole of the net, control everybody. And maybe they're just jerks at this point. We don't know. But that was their primary role, right? To keep that area of the net safe. Then here are the Voodoo Boys who believe that AI is going to help them be better, right? Be dominant. So that is correct, apparently. Apparently they would help them do that, but at the cost of achieving their own goals, right? Like destroying everyone. So maybe there's more going on there. Maybe the Voodoo Boys, they seem smarter than that. Maybe there's something more to it. Especially Bridget. Seems like she's not just out just to do anarchy, right? So maybe there's more to it. Maybe Netwatch don't understand something. Maybe the Voodoo Boys know something they don't. Maybe Netwatch are just like, it doesn't matter what it is. It can only be bad. But you're approached at the end of that mission with the Netwatch agent, right? And he's the guy that hired all the animals to protect him. That's where the tech came from. And that's why they're here. Because Netwatch agent is up to something and he wants to complete his mission. And you have the choice here. And I saw all the permutations of what went on after this. I can't remember them all because we weren't allowed to record. But, you can take his side. You can take his side and you can take Placide's side. I'll just let this play out a little bit and I'll talk more about it.
How you deal with the Netwatch agent is entirely up to you. Do we side with the gang? Choosing to be on Netwatch's bad side is never wise. But can we really trust the Voodoo Boys?
You set me up!
As you can see, we have many possible options. But in each case, we take a risk.
Think I'll just stick to my plan.
Options. But in each...
Let me just put this here briefly. If you have Street Kid, you have another options. You either trust the gang. Street Kid is going to be very gang focused. You're going to You're going to be out for the streets, you know, out for change, disrupting the status quo. So that's what it's about.
Case, we take a risk.
Think I'll just stick to my plan.
If you're corpo, you'll have a different option.
That didn't work out well. In the world of Cyberpunk, few things go as planned.
All right. So what did we learn here? What do we learn here? The assumption is you weren't very successful. You hacked in, something happened, you weren't successful. The reality is, I'm going to say the reality, what happened there. For those who don't want to know, just press pause for about 10 seconds. And press pause, not pause, press mute for about 10 seconds when I say go, okay? Go. All right. Placide betrays you and hacks into your system and disables you after you get into the Netwatcher's agent's brain, essentially. All right. I'm just going to wait for everyone else to unmute. Hi. Welcome back. Cool. All right. So that was one of the options. So, I mean, we don't know who to trust in this game. It's one of those things, right? Like it's never going to be black and white. And even letting that play out, it doesn't necessarily mean something bad for you. Like maybe you're disabled, but you'll come back. You won't die. That's not a death situation.
That didn't work out well. In the world of Cyberpunk, few things go as planned. And that was just a glimpse of how complex the branching storyline in Cyberpunk 2077 can get. Every decision you make will have consequences.
So you can go about that exactly the same way, but they can trust you more, right? Like Placide can trust you more, the Voodoo Boys can trust you more. That's just one outcome.
Choices will shape how the world reacts to you and affect your relationships with those around you. One of those relationships is special.
There we go.
Ever heard of Johnny Silverhand?
Like I mentioned that you don't die in that instance, it's because this happens.
A rebel rocker boy who will be your companion throughout your adventure in Night City?
Come on, really think they give a rat's dick how you look?
Like everyone in Cyberpunk 2077, he has his own agenda. You'll decide if he'll be your ally or your enemy.
Get in. Don't tell me I gotta get in that. So, this is the bit I was talking about. Now, I mentioned his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Alt Cunningham. What do you want from Alt? So, this is the main reason why I believe the overall arc for Johnny Silverhand is to rescue Alt Cunningham. It's because of this particular part. Just this one little snippet here. What do you want from Alt? So clearly she's mentioned, clearly she's part of the storyline in some way. Clearly that's Johnny's motivation. So that's why Voodoo Boys are required, I think, and part of the main line. It's because you need to save her somehow. Maybe you need to save her, maybe you don't. Maybe you can't save her unless you side with the Voodoo Boys. So that could be a reason why to go through this stuff.
And that chip in your head, the one thanks to which Johnny lives inside your mind. Well, that's a story for another time.
The postcards, the map. Remember that, guys? Remember that? Hello, hello, hello. So this leak seems to be pretty damn accurate, does it not? Just saying. Anyway, what did you guys think of that one? What did you guys think? So I think this is all about choice, right? The game is all about choice. And in this particular instance, I don't even know what the right choice is. I saw some of the outcomes and even though I know what happens when you hack into that Netwatch agent, and I know it could be negative from that onset. I don't know what happens after when you wake up. I don't know if that's the correct approach, if you go back to the Voodoo Boys or if you go to the Netwatch. But, you know, doing it that path might mean that you can save Alt Cunningham. Doing it another path and starting with Netwatch might mean that you locked out of the net and you take it upon yourself to not access those parts of the net, and therefore you can't help Johnny and Johnny won't be happy with you. So there's going to be choice, but it's going to be driven by a narrative in a way where it's like, yeah, there's some bad outcomes, but maybe you need to do those bad outcomes in order to get on the good side of someone else. So that's why I went through that, and that's why I had to explain a little bit more of the storyline to you guys, because I wanted to be able to tell you that, you know, these choices, these bad choices couldn't have a positive outcome in another way. Anyway, what do we have over here in this live chat that I can't keep up with? I think Johnny will betray you in the end. It's a possibility, man. It really is. At the end of the day, Johnny is a good guy, all right? He has positive motivations, but he is still, in essence, a selfish person, and he is, in essence, out for himself in a lot of ways, right? Like, he's selfless in that he'll throw himself in front of bullets for his people he cares about, like his girlfriend. But beyond that, you know, he's an ex-soldier looking to kind of turn the world around. So the motivations are great. It's just that if you don't meet those, if you don't help him, he's probably not going to be very interested in you. Anyway, I'm just joining. Have you guys gone over the newly released footage? We have not, Gregory. That's coming up last. I'm going through my favorite stuff first, which is I went through the 48-minute trailer and I just went through the deep dive video. So those are the biggest ones. The next ones coming up aren't as big. So I thought I'd get these ones out of the way. We'd sit, we'd chill. And now we're going to go through maybe the gig. We'll go through the gig maybe next. Johnny is very selfish. Glad I'm not the only one who thinks he'll be my enemy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I'll approach this. Like, obviously, because I'm a content creator, I'm going to go through every single permutation, go through every single choice. But there'll be choices where I'm like, I don't want to do this. And one of them will be betraying Johnny. I don't think I want to betray Johnny, but at the same time, I think he's going to force us to in a lot of ways, right? Because he's very singly focused. Like, it's going to be all about Alt, right? It's going to be all about Alt Cunningham. I reckon that's what it's going to be. He's going to want the city to burn. He's going to want to save his girlfriend. He's going to hate Arasaka. Arasaka's going to be enemy number one. At the start of the game, you're a corpo agent if you pick a corpo life path with Arasaka. So that might not go down well with him, right? But you get betrayed. Maybe you have more beef than ever with them. Who knows? There are a lot of hands in play. I feel that's much deeper than Johnny. 100%. 100%. I'm sure Johnny will open up, won't betray you as long as, yeah, I guess there's like, it probably depends, right? There's probably a relationship system. If you do enough good, maybe he doesn't betray you in the end, or maybe there isn't a betrayal. All right. The Russian voice actor for Johnny said he's a real asshole at first. Yeah, well, yeah, it's Johnny Silverhand. Of course he's an asshole. He's a rocker boy. Means a master disc. Yeah. I know. I made a mistake there. Going gold has nothing to do with sales. It means a master disc has been printed and ready for reproduction. Yes, that is true. All right. Cannot wait to get immersed up to the level of having my favorite restaurant or roach coach in the game. Sit down and have a meal. Yeah, me too, man. I'll just like hang out in the game and enjoy it for a long time. It's one of those games where you don't really need to rush through. What about No Nut November for y'all? Not participate. I never participate in No Nut November. No girl can wait a month for sex. Sounds good. I just want to play a game. All right. While you guys are chatting, I'm going to bring up the gig. I think we'll go to the gig next. Actually, no. Let's do the Gangs of Night City first, because I just do it in the order. All right. All right, what did you say here? We know for sure that Johnny will try at one point to kill V in the Russian edition. We don't know exactly how it works out because we don't see much of it. So we don't know exactly what's going to go on, but we have to expect with a game from CD Projekt Red that it's not going to be black and white, right? Like, he's a good guy, but it's not going to be black and white. All right, let's continue. So that's the Space Center. We didn't realize that was accessible, but now with the map, we know it is.
The stronger survive.
Badlands.
That's how things stand. You're either somebody or you fizzle.
That in my gang breakdown, I mentioned, you zoom into in a second.
Into nothing.
Then see,
Nicola
ain't a city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be buried.
There it is. So if you pull back from Night City, it looks small. But then when you're actually inside of it, you're like, what the hell? It's super, super dense. And that's what you'll notice a lot. Like, this does not look small, does it? And this is only a tiny fraction of it.
Careful, my friend. We are all so far.
There's already figurines of this guy out. Legit, there is already toys of this guy out. So he is clearly an important character in the game. Most likely romanceable. Most likely, we'll see him a little bit later on, most likely going to play a big part of the storyline, all right? So I think he might help you get into Arasaka or do some nasty shenanigans. But 3 mouths, 1 desire.
From home. Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD? Scavs hold the body count tight.
Scavs? Scavs are the scavengers we saw in the 48-minute demo. That's why I went through it first, because they're mentioned here. Scavs aren't in a lot of the gang trailers, aren't talked about very often. I think maybe you have just a few run-ins with them. They're not a major gang, but they hold the highest body count because it's literally their job, well, literally their role, to kidnap people and take out their cybernetics and dump their bodies, usually killing them, right? That's what they do. That's their whole thing. So of course they have the highest body count, but Maelstrom is...
Or Maelstrom, depending on the season.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of him.
Oh my God, I did it again. I'm so bad at this. I'm gonna go from the start. I'm gonna start. You love my face. So you love my face. Oh man, I'm so bad at this. All right, ship.
You know how things work in Night City. The stronger survive, but that's how things stand.
Beach Gamer, we can't see none. Had to spend $5 for this. Thanks, man.
Somebody.
That was my goal. So you spend $5 so you don't see my face. So look at this, right?
Will you fizzle out into...
Can't really see the city. Can't really see much of it. Looks pretty small.
Then see
Nicola.
in a city that lets you get by without buddies.
And then there it is. See how big it is? I'm so sorry. I'm just not going to switch back to my face at all. I just keep forgetting to do it. I'm tired, all right? I've had no sleep. Anyway, this guy.
Careful, my friend. We are all...
This guy, right? There's already shit out of him.
So far from home.
Look at the mud. Look at the mud. Look at the detail on this mud. Look at that. Zoom in. How do we zoom in? I can't zoom in. But look at that mud. Jesus Christ.
Which gangs...
So that's very similar to the map that we
The
saw.
city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD. Scavs hold the body count title.
See how big it is, old baby. So that's the scabs.
Maelstrom.
I figure that's going to be... If we go back. I figure that's going to be the bit with Jackie when you get in the car and you have that shootout where they're chasing you. I figure the scabs are probably only at the start of the game, maybe not that involved.
Maelstrom,
because they don't mention them that
season.
much.
One time,
The
a
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of my eyes for shits and giggles.
Chrome-sucking psychos.
And who the fuck are you to say what can
So remember this scene, the 48-minute demo?
and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat grinder.
So this club here.
About time. I'm gonna introduce you to our...
This club here. This is where they make a lot of their money. This is I can't remember the name of it now, but this is where a lot of gangs come to chill, to drink, to dance. There's a high body count all the time. It's like a Dothraki wedding, essentially, is what I said in my other video, where if there's not like a 3 deaths every time people come to this club, it's a shitty night, right? If everyone obeys the laws and follows the rules, Maelstrom's cool with other gangs coming here and partying. So this is where they make the majority of their money.
Meat grinder.
Dum Dum again. That's the same scene when you let them breach the
About
system.
time we had some fun! Think Maelstrom never forget!
There's Royce again.
Never!
There's a club.
I hate these Borg fuckers.
And this is the start of the meat packing mission. Remember how I said you drove there with the man here and walk in, but Jackie rocks up on a bike on this time at this particular moment. So what happened? Did we meet him here? Did we ride a bike with him here? Like why is it different in this case? But like I mentioned before, many permutations.
I'll take the Valentinos.
He's talking about Valentinos while you're walking. So there's they've added something different to what he says approaching the meat packing facility. Unless that's just edited in. But keep an eye on this girl here. She appears a little bit later on in this Valentino section.
Follow God and the Santa Madre. Honor means something to him.
How'd you meet Jackie?
We started out together.
In the Valentinos?
No, in the fucking Bible book club. I gotta give style.
So the Valentinos is probably my favorite gang in terms of their lore. They essentially accept all walks of life, but majority of them have got Mexican heritage. People that join generally adopt their cultures pretty quickly. They are pseudo-religious. They have a lot of religious iconography everywhere. I'm not a religious person, but I just think the way they approach it is pretty cool. And essentially, if you die fighting a corpo agent or a cop, they immortalize you as a saint and have statues up of you and shit, which is pretty cool. And they sort of law keepers within their area. So they're not straight up gangers where they just kill for the sake of killing. But then you have guys like this.
They have a punishment for every occasion.
This is in Haywood, the Fixer, and you seem to have a pre-existing relationship of some kind with him. I think maybe in the Street Kid path you'll know him a bit better. But there he is again with Valentino protection. I'm not sure if he's part of the Valentinos, but he definitely is a Fixer. Now look at the animations here.
For every occasion.
I've mentioned that in my breakdown as well. But that is just,
For every occasion.
that is not just straight up slashing. They've got different animations. If they miss, they twist the blade. It comes at you with a thrust. This is a tricked out version of a very expensive car. And you'll notice different gang versions of this particular car. If you want me to break this down more thoroughly, I've done it already in the video, so I won't go through it. But that girl at the start, I told you to keep an eye out for. She's here, she's dancing. I'm guessing you can probably talk to her. She might be a romance, she might be a fling, but she has no cyberware, which is
Quick
interesting.
shout out to everyone in
Little
Haywood and
Caliente.
Santo Domingo. Lately, the Valentinos and 6th Street have had a bigger bone to pick.
6th Street. Why'd they want to wipe you?
I don't, can't fucking stand Tinos.
So obviously Jackie doesn't like 6th Street for some reason. I'm guessing because he was in the Valentinos and the 6th Street had some clash with him. But 6th Street...
I've dealt with 6th Street
are
before.
your
We do
expatriates,
the run,
basically.
they'll transfer the cred.
Come on, let's go before 6th Street shows up.
You can block with a knife. I'm skipping over some cool things. Before...
For the cred.
Before here, it's pretty obvious that whoever was playing this game destroyed this car in front of 6th Street, which is this is their territory. And also that's a 6th Street version of that same car, which the Valentinos had a modification for. It's obvious that whoever was playing this demo destroyed this car just to piss off the 6th Street to get them to shoot. That seems like what's happened here. So you can piss off
let's go before
This is another one of their hideouts.
6th Street shows up.
And that is blocking a melee weapon with a knife. So you can do that. Here's Triss. Hopefully you can romance her, but I doubt it.
Stop! Any more Second Amendment fans in the house?
I really hope that Johnny doesn't be like Navi and be like, hey V, let's save Alt. Yeah, I hope not as well. Thanks, John.
Hate those bastards. Vomit lofty patriotic bullshit all day.
Johnny hates 6th Street, so Johnny's going to have his own opinions. Maybe that influences how you progress through the game. Maybe you have to go against his wishes to be nice to 6th Street. Anyway, here we have Judy. Potential romance option. Don't know if men can romance her. It seems like they're hinting at it just being females. I hope not, because we don't really have a lot of options for big romances as a male, because they all seem to be pretty out of my tastes. But anyway, guide to the net. She seems to be studying up. This is when you're brain dancing at the start of the game.
Time to bring on the future.
And they seem to have changed.
Any idea how many attacks from behind the black wall we neutralized?
So obviously the deep dive video we just saw before, graphical overhaul. We see the Netwatch agent here. He has a different little spiel. He's got a lot of cyberware.
Neutralized. If the Voodoo Boys breach the black wall, we'll all be fucked.
Voodoo Boys. Urban myth, I thought. Just net runners spooking each other. No such gang.
You know, I heard a few things about you. Voodoo Boys, best runners in town.
You do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. I see you always.
How can you trust this guy? I don't know how anyone can trust this guy. Am I seriously the only person that doesn't seem to hate these guys? No, I don't hate the 6th Street. I think they were cool. Like, if they have like that girl Triss there, I'll definitely be visiting them. But how do you trust a guy who goes, I see you always. You do what I say. Like, clearly is to get him onto your side, you probably need to have to work a bit, you know.
For them, Pacifica's just Haiti 2.0. Their own island, cut off from the rest of the city.
This is our turf, our home. Until last week, the animals crawled in.
Animals are the craziest fucking gang in the city.
Craziest gang in the city. All right. Keep an eye on this little section here. Ooh, lasers. Let's have a look.
Breaker stop!
So, what is that? What is that, guys? Someone tell me. Because that is not a laser sight. That is a spray of lasers that has damaged the wall. So, there might be some kind of turret that shoots, you know, beams. There might be some kind of weapon that shoots non-projectile based ammunition. Anyway, just sort of point that out. And then we have the turret, which has been updated. All turrets will have a laser sight, so you'll know when they're focusing you or what they're shooting at, because they do a lot of damage.
Breaker stop!
And here we have the bit I mentioned during the deep dive video that I think you'll be able to, because this is still the Grand Imperial Mall, the area you invade to find the Netwatch agent and fight the animals who have been hired by the Netwatch agent. This is a boxing ring within that mall. So I think you're going to fight to gain their respect. If you've invested heavily into body, if you've invested heavily into melee, this might be a walk in the park. But if you haven't, I'm guessing this is going to be real hard, because that guy does not look like he hits soft. He does not look like a teddy bear baby. He looks like he's all metal. Looks like what isn't like hard muscle is going to be cybernetics. Look at him. Look at that guy. Look at him. He takes a hit though, like a bitch, but still. Anyway, and this is their fight club. This is a different area to what we were just in. We were in the Grand Imperial Mall before. This is probably another one of their hideouts. Maybe it's a different section of the mall. Maybe it's at the back. But this is their fight club, right? So you can go and watch fights, or maybe you can join in.
They're hired
like so. And here we have Sasquatch 2.0 is a different Sasquatch. It's another animal member.
Someone else.
Maybe you get to romance this one. Yeah, good luck to you, because I think she'll crush you. This is definitely the death by snoo situation here.
Needed.
And here is an animal talking to you. So yes, you can talk to the animals. They're not all just roided out idiots that aren't going to negotiate. You probably can negotiate with them. Just keep that in mind.
I fucked you over. You fucked the gang over. Somewhere at the start of the story, somebody fucked.
This is after the Maelstrom gang mission. So I don't know why they put this with the animals. Maybe there's some connection, but you can see it's been drastically updated, right? We just walked past this in the 48-minute demo. It doesn't look like this. It looked empty. There was a road right in front of it. Now there's more drop ships, and there's obviously more to it, right?
Fuck the core. See how this works now?
See how this works now.
My husband's new way.
Tiger claws.
very high in the Tiger Claws. They did what made...
My husband was very high in the Tiger Claws. She's a fixer. She's a fixer we will visit more closely in the weapons trailer. So for now, I'll just leave it.
Sold sex and black. Sold...
So we know that you can block with melee weapons, right? We know that already. We saw it happen with a knife. We saw it happen in the footage that we got from media, right? But I don't know how effective it is because during that footage, the katana gameplay, which is on my channel, you see him still take damage. I think it only blocks a portion of damage or it only blocks certain bullets based on a chance. Until you invest into it, maybe it blocks more. I don't know. All I know is you can hold up your melee weapons to reduce damage coming in from people shooting at you, which seems weird because you're not Deadpool from Wolverine Origins, but it can be done.
Sex and black market tech.
See a lot of tiger.
And that was V with a mohawk in a Kill Bill style jumpsuit.
Tigers. They run this place.
Know what else they do well?
And I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he's cool as hell. I figure it's going to be a boss like Royce.
Know what else they do?
This is probably a high-ranking Tiger Claw member. Because if you look closely,
know what else?
It's you doing something to a guy and him coming right for you. So,
they do well.
And that is not slow. He kills him straight away. And he's another Tiger Claw member with glowing tats, which are cybernetics. Cockblades. What are you guys on about? Don't ever trust old Asian gang ladies. I know. I've seen Daredevil.
Do something.
Shut the fuck up. The tigers will kill us. Come on, baby.
Do something.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, so Tiger Claw is going to be another melee kind of based gang for their lower tier members. Lowest tier will have baseball bats, that kind of thing. Next tier will have guns and katanas and kantos. Kantos are your little close quarters stabby knives. And your katanas are your medium range slashy blades. Then you have guns, SMGs, that kind of thing. So Tiger Claws are going to be your Yakuza or your Triad kind of gang. Expect them to be really dangerous, kind of like the Maelstrom, but more members. They'll hit you with more numbers than the Maelstrom will.
The tigers.
Anyway, you see here that he got decapitated. They got the comeuppance, all right, because he got decapitated.
Will kill us.
Now, the Moxie have a tumultuous relationship with the Tiger Claws. Tiger Claws raped and killed some prostitutes. Prostitutes didn't like it, fought back, caused a little bit of friction there. They ended up becoming a gang of their own called the Moxies.
Come on, baby.
Come on, baby. Tiger Claws killed one girl too many, so people took matters into their own hands.
So this is at the front of Lizzie's. Obviously, there's a lot more security than there was before.
Matters into their
So they've updated that.
own hands.
There's more inside the bar. It's a brain dance bar. That's, I'm guessing, Moxie's version of the car, by the way. It looks cool. It's kind of pearl. I think this guy is a pimp, but I don't know. It's like next to a love heart bed. Like, if this is the options that people interested in a masculine man have, I feel sorry for you because it looks like he has a band-aid over his nipples. Like, right? Is man nipples not able to be seen now? Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what he is. Is he? I don't know. I hope for your sake he's a pimp. And then we have more Moxie members. Now there's a male Moxie member. Not sure what he is, if he's a prostitute, a pimp, or a stripper, but the male members are a lot more sexualized than the female members, so I don't want to hear it, girls. I don't want to hear it. He has his shirt off, and you can see his package, all right? He's sexualized. Anyway, don't know what's going on here. I'm guessing this is like just a back alley of the bar that you can walk down. Not sure if I talk to these guys.
It's how the
This girl, though.
Mox got started.
This girl, though. I don't know what her deal is, but she's definitely a combat model of the Moxie's gang. All of the combat models have are heavily augmented. Most of them have real skin over them, so you can't tell they've got a lot of augments. But this one doesn't really hide it. She's got forearm spikes. She's got nail spikes. She's got a face plate. She's got, spikes on her ears. Her legs are clearly designed to run fast. I don't know what's going on with this one, but she's explaining the history of the Moxie. The Mox. Not why I'm thinking Borderlands 3. She's speaking of the history of the Mox. So clearly she's high up there as a member. You're probably going to have to deal with her in some way, or probably face her wrath in some way if you cross the Mox. But they're not a high threat gang. They're not going to cross you if you pay your dues, so to speak.
How the Mox got started.
Now, bartender.
Us Moxes have each other's start.
Us Moxes. Now, this bartender's probably romanceable. There's no way they'd focus on it like this if he wasn't able to be talked with at least. The camera moves in a way that suggests that he is part of the story in some way. It wouldn't just be a random NPC because they normally just pan past those instead, right? It's a pan action in cinematography if it's just an NPC. If it's a zoom in and focus, it's someone important. That's generally how it goes. So this guy clearly can be talked to in some way, probably like you can talk to the woman, the bartender in the Afterlife bar. Probably like that, where you get the Johnny Silverhand cocktail. So maybe this is a romance option. A lot of girls are saying they like the look of this one. So hopefully, for your sake, I hope so.
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another.
You looking for some company tonight?
So this is the VIP area. I'm guessing this is up the back. So you can probably take a girl here and sleep with her.
How'd you hook up with them?
I think there was a scene.
For some company tonight?
I think it's in the other trailer. I'll go through it then. But these mannequins, a lot of people were saying that boob sizes all seem to be the same. This one has a bigger boobs. But other than that, all the NPC, all the girls have pretty regular sized boobs. So none of that is really over sexualized, I don't think. But I think there's potential for like more than one romantic partner at the same time based on what we've been seeing. That might be something you're interested in.
How'd you hook up with the mob?
Then we have Judy. This is the same scene before where you're going to brain dance. Now, we saw this trailer. We saw all the different TVCs we could potentially have. I'm guessing you watch those television commercials, the TVCs, through screens like this, walking around the city, looking at people's computer screens. That's how you'll get all of those ads. I don't think you will have any way to interact with all of them, but as a joke, I mentioned that you might be able to romance her, but you probably can't.
I thought Susie and the gang could really change something in this city.
Oil fields. What's going on here? Where are we going?
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to yammer
Don't know who this guy is.
a lot about community, solidarity.
Think it's the nomads.
Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here, huh?
Au contraire. This is an
So this is a scene with... Okay, so there's two nomad gangs that you need to understand in Night City. One is the Wraiths, which they're going to highlight now, but very briefly, because I don't think they're going to be a major portion of the game since they're all in the Badlands. And then you have the Aldecados, which are the gang essentially you start out within the nomad path. They're your good guy nomads, but they're a gang that sticks together, believe in family. Both of them are in this. That's the Wraith, that's the Aldecados, okay?
ecosystem.
Wraiths.
Nomads, Raptor Shiv, corporations, and drifters.
All the Badlands. And this area here, the Corp Bud building has been taken over by the Wraiths. I'm guessing if you cross them, you're going to have to fight them. Here's the Aldecados, and this is another confirmed romance, guys. So if you're into this kind of girl, if you're into this kind of lady, you have to go nomad. This is the only way to romance her, because nomads are all about family, so it's going to be very difficult for you to break in and gain her trust if you're not from the nomad faction. Very difficult. I'm guessing it's probably impossible, but they do mention, CD Projekt Red do mention that you can do nomad things if you start out as a street kid or as a corpo, or you can do corpo things if you start as a street kid or a nomad, and so on. So I'm not sure if maybe you can just become part of their family and then become a nomad, but as of right now, it seems pretty certain that if you don't start in Snowmad, you cannot romance this girl. But she likes big guns. So keep that in mind when you're creating your character. Just saying.
Remove one part, the delicate balance topples.
These Nomad vehicles, I've gone through this in a previous video, but Nomads trick the hell out of their vehicles. They customize them to a crazy amount. Only the animals have big boobs, says Eva. They're pecs. They're big pecs and cybernetics. They trick them out to an extent that they're basically tanks. So they're armored, composite armor. They've got sensors. They've got better suspension. They've got weapons. They've got everything. You'll notice it has no windows because windows are a structural weakness as per the Geth in Mass Effect. They're structural weakness. So inside, instead, when you get in, it'll be dark, but then dynamically you'll be able to see outside because LCD screens project what is on the outside, on the inside, except you're still protected. So it is kind of a cool little animation getting into one of these cars. So if you want one of these cars, you're probably gonna have to go to the Badlands, probably gonna have to, kill a Wraith or a Nomad, Elder Carlos, or you're gonna have to win it somehow, maybe one of these street races or inside missions. But these heavily customized cars can be driven.
Here in the Aldecaldos, it all stays in the family.
It all stays in the family,
Classic
baby.
dilemma. What comes first, family or the outside world?
This family will go to
the outside world.
Let's just go back a little bit here. All right, so this is, you're getting chased. There's going to be plenty of chases. There's going to be plenty of shooting out of cars in the Badlands. That's just going to be that thing. It's all about cars.
Classic dilemma.
All right. They're all about family, dead people, but the grave doesn't have a name on it, so it must be a pretty shitty family.
Dilemma. Welcome.
All right. Look at the rocks. I said this in my other video. Look at the rocks. Who is going to be here in the game? How much time are you going to spend in this canyon? Why is this so, there is no repeating texture here. It just blows my mind. Anyway. Just breathe it in.
Comes first, family or the outside world?
So right there,
this family or the outside.
You'll notice a grenade going off. The grenade does enough damage to V to put him in this state where he's low health. When you're low health, you'll go fuzzy and you'll die. Then we have a very powerful pistol against Militech here. You'll fight Militech early on in the Nomad life path. You'll have to escape from him. I believe there'll be more to it. Maybe that's why you know about the Militech convoy being hijacked. Meredith Stout's Militech convoy being hijacked. Maybe you know about it in the Nomad path because maybe you're involved in it in some way. I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyway, it's Militech.
This family.
That guy is too close. It's personal space. Look at him. What is he doing? He's grabbed you here. He's going, this is family. So maybe this is another Nomad thing, but look over here. Girlfriend, boyfriend. Maybe you can follow them dynamically. They go back into their tent. You can listen to what they get up to. Just saying. Remember, every single NPC has their own thing.
This family will go to...
Okay, so in this part, he revisits the mission. So I'm guessing before he died to that grenade, he died to a shot. Now he's doing the same thing again. Except the grenade goes off prematurely. He knows to shoot the guy with the grenade. It takes out the two Wraiths.
Tell it back.
Remember, when it's game over, it's game over. You have to restart from a checkpoint. You don't wake up or whatever. So you have to redo it.
Everyone in this city lives in their own bubble, and either you fly high or sink into quicksand.
There we go. And now I am not going to cut back to the full screen because I will forget. I will completely forget. So instead, I'm going to bring up the life path trailer and let's chat. Let's chat for a little bit. 30 seconds or so. Oh, I've got so many hidden messages here. One just says poop over and over again. You know what? I'm just going to show it. Going to reveal it. Why is that we can see full nude in the custom character, but nowhere else does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, man. Don't know. Haven't even thought of it. No death run. Look, there will be plenty of people who do a no death run. I guarantee you a speed run will be a no death run. Like, why would you need to die? Since it doesn't take you back to a quick load spot, it takes you back to a checkpoint. Maybe you might do it to get to a hospital or whatever, like in GTA style. But other than that, I think speedruns are just going to be disappointing a lot of people. I think it's going to be a lot of walking away from quest givers, a lot of shooting them in the head to avoid a mission. It's going to be a lot of that stuff to speed through it, I reckon. I can't wait to see speedruns of this game, guys. I can't wait. If I learn how to do it, I'll 100% do it. Or I'll at least show you guys how to do it. But, that's going to be a lot of fun, especially with this kind of stuff. Because speedrunning in a game like this is going to be so incredibly hard to optimize. There's going to be people coming up with new routes every single time that you learn one. It's going to be, I just learned a new route. I'm great. I'm getting great at this. Oh shit, there's a new route that completely cuts that mission out and I have to glitch through a wall somewhere else. Like, I can't wait. Anyway, any word on the end game? Absolutely zero, and there never will be until the game is released. Because they don't want to reveal anything. Pacifica is the last mission that we'll get to see, I reckon. That's the furthest along in the storyline we'll get to see. Anything else, I reckon, is going to be spoiler town, so no word. All we know is there's a lot of different outcomes. There's a lot of different main endings, and within those main endings are side permutations. So, for example, it might be you save the girl and you save the world, right? That's a main mission. Let's just say that's not main ending. Let's just say that's a main ending. And then a little side thing will be Jackie ends up marrying Misty because you helped their relationship along. Or Jackie ends up dying, or whatever. Or like that's a little side thing, right? They'll probably go through those little things, kind of like you expect at the end of like a Fallout kind of game. That's how it's going to be. All right, real talk. Have you got Cyberpunk in your room right now? If I did, I couldn't answer that, but I don't. In the end game, you're going to be Takashi in Altered Carbon. I don't know. Probably going to be so hardcore. Can we really finish the game without completing the main quest line? No. So how it's going to work is there's going to be a main quest line, but there's going to be different ways you can edge the main quest line along. And they mention, and I mentioned this in the video as well, that side quests will impact your main line. So let's, for example, talk about this girl here. Actually, don't worry about it. It's going to take too long. Let's say there's a fixer, the Asian lady, I can't remember her name, her. Let's say you meet her in a side quest before you meet her in the main line, if that's a thing. Like, I don't know if that's a thing. This is just an example. That will edge along the main mission in a way that'll be different to if you approached it directly without meeting her prior. So all of the side quests will have, or the side missions will have different branches that impact the way the main line plays out. The main line will need to be completed in some way. Maybe you can fail it. Maybe the end game is simply, I don't know, let's just say it's assaulting Arasaka corporate tower and taking out, the head honcho. Let's just say that is the thing, right? Maybe you end up becoming buddies with Arasaka, and then that main line doesn't need to be done. It can be completed in a different way. So you can beat the game without doing everything, but you will need to complete what is set out for you to beat it, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to get all the bitches. You do you, man. You do you. Right, homies, I'm off for the night. Good on you, man. Good on you, man. All right. I usually do all the side quests before I can progress. Yeah, I think people that do all the side missions before they progress in the main mission is exactly what I do. That will make the main mission different, right? Like, you'll be more strong, you'll have deeper relationships. Maybe you've screwed up and somebody hates you now, so you would have met them in the main line. Now you're not going to. So it's probably going to impact it in a pretty substantial way that when you replay it and you avoid some of the side missions, it's going to be different. It's going to play out differently. So I kind of can't wait to see how that all goes. But let's just go through this life path right now, and we'll talk more about Nomad Street Kid Incorporated.
Well, who do we have here? Grew up in Haywood. The whole street was my family. Neighbors.
I figure he is a little close. He's part of Valentino's, obviously. You can tell with the cross, the iconography here. Also the Valentino's iconography here and here and here, like in here, and I'm getting a hint that he's in the Valentino's, just a little hint. I think he's romanceable as well. That's my hint as well. I think he's going to be. You got a little bit too much of eye contact. He either loves you or hates you. There's no in between at this point.
Helped each other out.
All right, more Valentino's.
Thought nothing of it.
And here is the fixer. He's giving you a quest, or giving you a mission, giving you a card for something. This is him setting you up with...
I am pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Not forgotten your roots.
Born here, live here, die here.
Setting you up with the guy that sends you on this mission, and you meet the detective here, who is probably going to be a reoccurring character. If you take the Street Kid path, you'll probably have to meet up with him again, because of all of the paths, what you do in the prologue, what you do in the introduction mission based on your life path, that will come up again throughout the storyline. So I'm guessing he will come up again, or the guy you meet a little bit later on will come up again.
Robbing buildings, running away from badges. Iron tasted blood from a split lip. Oh, motherfucker.
Street race. I'm not sure if you can do a street race in the...
Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
Get the fuck...
He looks like he's Maelstrom, but he's actually 6th Street, as you'll notice here. Very heavily modified 6th Street.
Keep getting jumped.
Sasquatch again.
Stronger chews.
Flexing his dick. Evelyn Parker, romance option, fairly certain. There's no reason why she wouldn't be.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting?
All right, this is the guy you get set up with, the fixer puts you on to. He wants the car, you go and rob it. That is the Street Kid path, essentially. You have to go and steal the car. That's where you meet Jackie. You both get arrested. You both get thrown out in your ass, right? And then you continue on.
Scabs. Or become a legend overnight.
We have arrived. The Major.
Ready to get your cherry pop?
I'm pretty sure she'll be romanceable. We talked to her a little bit later in one of the other trailers. This is Afterlife. This is where all the biggest and baddest come. These are all mercenaries. You're not in a gang with them. It's not how it works. They're not going to come run and grab your back. It's more like a union. This is where you come to get your big bad boy quests.
Yeah, come on.
Damn, missed most of the stream. Sorry, Jonathan. Thanks for the donation, though. All right, then we have Nomad.
My childhood, let's see. Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills. Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our...
Aldacadas. All right, so that's the gang, right? Like, I'm not sure if you can drive this car, but I'm kind of getting swayed. I want to go Corpo. I want to go a Corpo life path. I want to go like a Hitman style with pistols and tech and Corpo, but I'm getting slowly converted to Nomads. They just seem really cool. I like the family aspect, and I like visiting Night City for the first time with my character, right? Because you're going to Night City for the first time as a Nomad. As a Street Kid, you're already there. As a Corpo, you're already there. So I'm kind of getting swayed with Nomad, but I don't know. We'll see.
Family. My choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid. As
This is where you start. Literally, you're starting of the Nomad path.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
But things don't go the way as planned.
Outcast among outcasts.
Here she is again. Nomad path. This girl is romanceable. I'm not sure, like she looks I'm not sure what her background is, like race-wise. She looks kind of African-American, but then she looks kind of Spanish.
I know.
Her hair is very African-American.
I saw it in your heart.
I don't know what to make. She might be
I saw
mixed.
it in your heart.
But she's
the
cute.
first time.
Cute as hell. Like, look at her. was kind of like a little thumbs up here is the beer is a 2 fists, like camaraderie, and you clinking together, which is camaraderie, which is pretty interesting. So this is escaping
You know what I always liked about
the
Nomads?
Corpos, trying to get into
Your
Night
taste.
City.
No.
That was the Wraiths and the Elder Carlos. And this little bit here is where you meet Johnny in the Nomad life path. Every life path you meet Johnny in a different situation. Oh, Jack. Why is it Jack, Johnny? Jackie. You meet Jackie in a different situation, all right? So the way you meet him is different every time. He's a different person every time. And this one, you have an iguana.
Hunger.
What is this? I don't know what's going on here. I can't remember this path. Anyway, Jackie's here. You're bros.
Freedom.
That's how it goes.
Not easy to come by in Night City.
That was
Corp's
a line.
got their
I
grubby
didn't
claws
intend
and
it.
everything.
All right. And this is why I wanted. This is what kind of convinced me to go pistols, because I just love like the flair of it. When you get good with a pistol, you'll be spinning it around. You'll be slapping people with it. You'll be firing like a demon. Same with rifles as well. You'll be like doing tricks with them when you get really good. But you can see here taking people out. And then we have Corpo.
I have those reports you asked for.
They were supposed to be ready yesterday.
The world's going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
The world's never going to find out.
So Arasaka is cold, clean. It's like the apple of the corporate world, right? And this is where you start in corporate.
Down. You're going down with me. No!
I'm hoping we get to meet this girl again, because she looks like she might actually be a normal-looking female, which is another good option for males or females, whichever way you swing. Anyway, this is a corporate boardroom, so this is what we can expect with Corpo. It's going to be this at the start, right? This is the kind of feel.
I'm not fucking joking!
This isn't a request, V.
But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other people's shit.
If you work in Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
Today, they got you to zero somebody. Tomorrow, they'll get...
So Corpo is your typical Corpo experience. I won't go through it too much. But you start off as a fairly high or mid-ranking counterintelligence officer. Shit goes down, you're back to square one, right? You probably don't like Arasaka at this point, right? Like you're not going to like him. So that's also leading you to them being the main antagonists, right? I think Arasaka is going to be the main antagonist of the game, because you either don't like him because you were betrayed by them in this way, you don't like him because you're a street kid that doesn't like Corpo, you don't like him because they make your life hard as a nomad, you don't like him because Johnny Silverhand hates him and has done everything in his power to get back at them, literally coming out of retirement just to attack him. So like, I feel like them and the fact that our man Adam Smasher here is probably the biggest, baddest dude out there, and he's alive. If you know his backstory, he's like the strongest solo there is, besides Morgan Blackhand. We don't know who's better out of the two of them. They duel at the end of 2020, and the building collapses on them both. Nobody wins, right? But he's still alive. He is an android, basically. He's just a walking tank. He's like, he has no weak point, really. He's just this. So I figure he's going to be the final boss. That's my suspicion. This is not actual skin, by the way, so his head's not a weak point. That is all metal, okay?
Somebody else to zero you.
What's the rules, Jack?
Also, you might be able to sleep with him. No, you probably can't. Anyway, you're at Arasaka.
Top? Gotta have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Saburo Arasaka is. And you're the pendejo who keeps him there. Work for yourself, live for yourself. That's the only way.
Who do you want to be, guys? Who do you want to be? In the chat right now, tell me what you're going. Corpo, Nomad, Street Kid. I want to know. I want to know. Right now, while I load up another video. Because like I said, I'm leaning Corpo, but Nomad is swaying me. I know that Street Kid I want to do last. Not because it's any worse, but because I feel like as a second or a third playthrough, being a guy that was brought up in the streets of Night City will have a different perspective. All right. E3 trailer, I think we'll put next. All right, this one's slightly shorter, so. All right, what do we have? I'm just going to eyeball this. So far, Nomad is winning. Little Red Nomad. I'm guessing you're going to go Nomad, but he says, never mind, is Adam Smasher romanceable? Never mind if Adam Smasher is romanceable, is the fucker killable? We don't know, man. We really don't know. Depends on what your definition of killable is, because he's probably got consciousness uploaded places, you know, so he could just swap into another body. Don't even know. The real question is he actually alive anymore? Is he a human being anymore, or is he just a thing? Make a straw poll. Nah. Right now, Nomad has clearly won this. Corpo coming second. I think, yeah, Street Kid last by far. Whew. 100% Corpo Dick Slinger. I like it, Dice Man. I like it. You guys make me laugh. All right, this one's a quick one. While I'm still getting the results here. Because a lot of people. 600 comments so far on just... Whew. Anyway, let's have a look. All right, there's a Night City Metro. First thing. Do we know if we can go in the Metro? I don't, but he's in one right now. Can we travel it in the game? Into it in the game? I don't know. This is, I think, a little bit of creative liberty here. I don't think this is going to be in the game as a cutscene, this particular section. But this is going to represent... In
2077, they voted my city the worst place to live in America. Main issues, sky-high rate of violence, and more people living below the poverty line than anywhere else.